All right. Well, fancy meeting you here on Monday night, Dr. Funkin.
How you doing tonight, Woe?
I'm doing pretty well. It is well, we're done with the Swiss round, so most of the stress in my life is gone. So that's nice. But
Well,
what do we have here?
what we have here is an Irongol Heavy Metal Championship Rumble.
Aw, yeah. And man, this is fantastic. For the folks who are unaware, this is a what? I think we're up to 21 entrants, 16 of whom are being restreamed across both Randomania and Speed Gaming.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one, too. We've got entrance shuffle, all items are loose, we have a forced party. There is all kinds of madness this evening.
Yeah. Minor correction on that. I believe it is not just an entrance shuffle, this is a floor shuffle.
You are correct. I knew I forgot something.
Oh, this is going to be delightful. I really should have taken advantage of the fact that I was the one rolling the seed to tri-state a couple of things, but I didn't think of it in time.
What does tri-state mean in the terms of the randomizer?
Basically, it just means that you don't know if a flag is enabled or disabled. It's the equivalent of the random setting in, like, Zelda 1 Randomizer,
Gotcha.
where it just flips a coin and that determines whether or not the thing is on. I personally am a fan of tri-stating the Ordeals Pillars and Early Sages.
Ooh, yeah, that could be hilarious.
Oh,
One of the
yeah.
stages, suddenly it's like, oh yeah, you can't talk to us yet, you need to go fight Lich.
Well, the best part is they have confused old men on, so if you don't know what the text of the one sage who is supposed to, like, give you the canoe is, you have no way of knowing whether or not...
Cruel man, Woat. A cruel man, and I love it.
I'm just gonna point out, these are the flags I turn on for myself. Like, this isn't flags I inflict on other people, this is what I think is fun.
I've seen the way you talk to Woat on stream, okay? Yeah, that doesn't stop you from being cruel.
Okay, I'm gonna point out that's mostly on other Woat. He is the aggressor 9 times out of 10.
Look, there's a reason why I'm here tonight. It's because I can't stand to see loved ones fight.
I suppose that's fair. But yeah, so in case it's not clear, I'm the one who rolled this dumpster fire.
I don't know. So far, it looks like a jet seed, considering the party you rolled for him.
I mean, if there's anything that I've learned, it's just because you have the party necessary doesn't mean the seed's going to make it easy on you. Because, let's see here, I'm just looking over things. Ooh, we turn on randomized enemy status effects. I love that flag.
Oh yeah, and who knows, maybe those imps will start off with Death Touch, and we'll just be, falling all over ourselves right out at the gate.
Well, the lovely thing about randomized enemy status attacks is, even if that happens, that doesn't mean that you're done seeing death status touches.
Awesome to the max.
Yeah, because normally what we have is shuffle status attacks. So, you still have the same number of status touch attacks that's normally found in the vanilla game. What randomized does is say, alright, here are the rough proportions of touch attacks relative to the total number of enemies in the game. So, every single enemy rolls, and if they land a touch attack, cool. And we're, basically it's going to be kept in ratio. So I think it's like, I think the way it currently behaves, it's an average of 5 death touches and 5 stone touches spread out across the seed. Like, I think that it's one of those flags that, like, needs a little bit of tweaking in some people's opinion. I think it doesn't need any tweaking because it's one of those things where it's just like, I like having to sit there and go, well, crap, the most common enemy in this dungeon has Death Touch. What am I supposed to do now?
I don't know, I think we should tweak it to be harsher. Just, like, forget these ratios. Potentially everything could roll Death Touch.
Well, I think that the whole point of the ratios is to, like,
Keep things fun and fair. Where's the fun in that?
Well, no, I think it's mostly so that, like, you're not sitting there with a seed where it's just like, well, everything has poison touch, and who cares? It's just poison touch. Now, the nice thing, though, about randomized enemy status attacks is that it also incorporates several status attacks that are not found in the vanilla game, the big one being Mute Touch.
Ooh, with, that could be nasty for our mages or our promoted fighter and thief, should they happen to find some spells.
I mean, even without spellcasting, it's going to be rude, because item magic's on, so we might have good spells and items. Mute kills that.
I did forget that Mute kills kills caster items in this game.
You wanted to use a potion? Too bad, you're muted.
Yes, because you have to scream real loud in order to drink a potion.
Well, the rationale I think I've read I actually think it's in Astral Esper's FAQ is, well, you can't use your mouth, so you can't drink things.
Sure, we'll go with that.
The actual rationale in the game's code is potions are just usable, just use the same exact code as the spells. So Mute's just like, oh, that's a spell. Okay. And I hear the pitter-patter of little feet popping into... Ah, there we go. Someone stepped into the booth and then left when they realized they were in the wrong place.
We had an invader. It's a run-in! Oh my god, they've got a foreign object!
Oh, Lord have mercy. So, in case folks are wondering why we're still sitting on the menu screens, like I said, this is spread out across 4 different channels, and some of those channels are having a little bit of a delay. So, the whole thing's delayed, because we have to get everyone off at the same time. So, you have to listen to 2 idiots chatter for a while.
Yeah, and we're only doing it because we love you.
Yeah. And because, I mean, basically, we promised people that this show would start at 9, and damn it, we're going to start the show at 9.
I mean, I was promised it would start at 10, but I'm on the East Coast, so...
Yeah, well, Central Time is best time. But yeah, so, right, we were talking about Mute Touch. But, so yeah, it could come into play, and... You know, with item magic on, which that flag, as we all know, or should know, makes it so that any spell, with a few exceptions, can land on a item. So you
Looking
can have
forward
anything.
To lamp shirt.
Yeah, you have anything from a lamp shirt all the way up to a nuke stick. So
all lamp, all items, all the time.
But I think probably one of the best flags we're going to see tonight... Oh! Someone turned on the, replace duplicate entry, flag for this. So we're not going to have 3 in 256 odds tonight of anything landing.
That's right, we're only going to have 2 in 256 chance of anything landing, and that goes for both enemies and players alike.
Oh, yeah. But we also do have blurst weapons on, which that is probably the most popular flag in the community right now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that coming out of beta and being live.
Oh, absolutely. So, for the folks who are unfamiliar with the blurst weapons because you've just sat through 6 weeks of Swiss, which, let's just face it, this is a flag set about as far from Swiss as you can get while still being something most people want to play.
Yep. So, Blurst Weapons is called such for Blessed and Cursed, and you can think of it kind of like your D&D weapons. This game's a rip-off of D&D, Blurst Weapons is kind of a rip-off of how weapons work in that. Every weapon can roll with up to a +5 bonus or a -5 penalty. And by adding those onto the items, they can be better or worse, depending.
Yep. And it varies how the bonus affects the piece of equipment. So, like, if it's body armor, it's a +2 to absorb. If it's any other kind of armor, it's a + or -1 to absorb. If it's, a weapon, I think it's like +2 to attack, +3 to hit percent, +1 to crit chance per point. So it's it makes very interesting things happen, because if you find something like a +5 light axe, a light axe goes from, a pretty solid weapon that'll carry you about 2/3 of the way, 3/4 of the way through the game, to, well, I know what I'm going to use to kill chaos because I probably am not going to find anything better.
True, the
And
Great Axe could actually live up to its name for once.
okay, even blessing can't help the great axe.
One can dream.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of what other flags are worth discussing. We do have patrolling war mech on, so that's a fun one. What it does is it takes the war mech off the Bridge of Destiny and sticks him in the teleporter maze, which I believe is just is it normal teleporter floor tonight, or did they actually make it the fun kind of floor? Where is the maps? That's just the normal floor. Boo! Boo!
Oh, well.
But, yeah. Anyway, Warmech is an NPC that wanders around on that sky floor. You can just choose not to fight him, or you can choose to be a champion of the people and fight him. And hey, 104 people from Randomania, fancy seeing y'all here.
Wow, we really do have a run-in now of 104 folks. That's a big interference.
Yeah, so since I'm assuming that y'all are coming here from Zelda and don't want to necessarily know what's going on don't necessarily know what's going on, this is Final Fantasy I Randomizer's Irongol Heavy Metal Championship series. And what this basically is I'm not really sure how to describe it. It's kind of a championship belt. Yeah, it's a championship belt that anyone can contend for. However, you must be #1 contender to be able to challenge the champ, or at least you get first dibs on it. To be #1 contender, you must fight your way up the ranks in whatever way you can manage to talk someone into racing you in. And what we have tonight is a pick-up Royal Rumble of sorts. I believe we have 21 plus racers involved in this madness, 16 of whom are being restreamed across 4 channels. Y'all have been dragged onto Randomania too. There's also competition. There's also a stream over on Randomania 3. There's a couple of streams over on the Speed Gaming Network as well. So, pick your poison if you want. Otherwise, we're happy to have you here, because this is hopefully going to kick off soon enough. As soon as Dangwoo, our restreamer here, lets everyone out the gate. So these flags in particular are incredibly silly. They are Floor Shuffle, which scrambles all of the dungeon floors in Final Fantasy I and scatters them across all of the entrances in whatever order the seat feels like. And there's a bunch of other stuff that we'll get into. We have free ship and canal, so yeah, the world is our oyster, geez.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to get out and check all kinds of entrances right out the gate.
Yeah. We have a bunch of loose items on the table, that being... Yeah, so Floor Shuffle, it's really... You're just gonna have to experience it in order to understand it. But yeah, the easiest way to explain it is, imagine every floor in Final Fantasy I. Now imagine most of them are in the wrong place, and entirely new dungeons are built out of them. Specifically in this case, towns are included in the shuffle. So literally the only location that is guaranteed to be the same is the Oasis Merchant and Canaria, the town. The castle's going to be something. We don't know what yet. Everything, the classes have been forced. The war mech is optional, and we're going to find out what horrible things are in store. And we are off, and that is a crescent lake next to Canaria. What is this garbage?
That's a great question. Let's see here. What do we got for armor? Ooh, Opal is for sale. What do we got? We got Ice 2 and Fast at level 1 Black Magic. We have Fade at level 1 White Magic. And
that balances out
Red
that
Mage learnable, so...
Yeah, that balances out that level 6 nuke. And Cure 4 is going to be inaccessible to our players, because that is the white wizard. That is the white mage / wizard lock slot.
Yeah, though the fact that we've got Fade is definitely, like you said, a nice balancer there. You can go full offense even if you don't have that. Looks like we've got level 6 nuke in Crescent Lake.
Yeah, now that is going to be accessible to that red wizard, so that's nice.
Sure is.
So
We got
everything's
$305
loose.
worth of pocket change from the confused old men.
Yeah, so everything's loose, which means those incentive locations, like the old men, would help you.
Not even... I mean, it's helpful to collect items, but there's definitely no guarantee that it's going to be anything you really want.
Yeah. I also see A-Rub at level 1 white. That, you know, probably won't be used because we also have Fast and Ice 2 and Saber, but it exists.
An argument could be made that with, like, entrance and floor shuffle, A-Rub is more useful than usual, in that you may be running into things where you need that death protection.
Yeah. I am seeing a lot of minuses on equipment, so I at least have redeemed myself a little bit.
I don't know, that power staff's got +5.
Yeah, that's true. That actually, with the power staff's base stats, that's not terrible.
No, you could whack something pretty hard with that.
Yeah, I didn't see where that Agama floor someone went into was, nor am I entirely sure how we got to Temple of Fiends.
Me either, but they got a little bit of gold and some save items, and I imagine Dark Moon's gonna take out Garland.
Yeah? I mean, obviously, an early Temple of Fiends like this means that we're not going to see Canaria Castle until, an hour and a half from now.
If we see Corneria Castle.
And thank you to Lord Goober 3, Temple of Fiends was in its vanilla location.
Oh, excellent. So, did you even bother to randomize this seed load?
Okay, you know what? I didn't think that Will Bloodworth's theory that letting me roll the seed was going to overflow and make it, like, a good seed. But I'm beginning to think that he may have been right.
I mean, between the party and the fact that we've got a vanilla Temple of Fiends, things are starting to look like that theory might have some weight behind it.
Well, anyway, ogres have squint.
Well, that's something. Luckily, ogres aren't super common throughout the whole seed.
Yeah, Dark Moon probably... Oh, Imps had Blizzard.
Oh, that's fun for the whole family right there.
And Bones have damage poison.
Oh my god, okay. So this is still a tire fire, it's fine.
Scorch.
This is still a tire fire, it's fine.
Okay, I feel better now about it. Oh, and creeps have slow.
Annoying, but not as deadly as the other stuff we've been seeing.
Yeah, it's still one of those things where it's just like, okay, I redeemed myself already.
Yep, you definitely made the early game terrifying.
Oh, and I believe that we have chat letting us know that spiders also have heat. And yeah, chat, just so it's clear, you are also part of the show tonight. You are the authority. And by that I mean...
Scary floor.
There are 4 screens and we have 3 eyes between us. So feel free to call it anything you notice. Because we are going to miss things.
We certainly are. But like I was saying, Dwarf Cave is the carry floor, which Dark Moon noped out of as soon as he saw it.
Yeah, I cannot say I blame him. Boss stats are clamped at 300% tonight.
Yeah, I'm, like, with that level 1 Fade, I might have risked trying to take that chest, but it would definitely be a risk if you're just gonna reset out and walk back anyway.
I mean, it's not like there's gonna be, like, the value in that chest is questionable, so I can see why you would just say, yeah, no. But,
you also might get some free levels off the spike tiles, who knows?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think I might have been tempted to make one dip just to see what I could see, but,
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have gone hard for it, but I definitely would have at least gone to see what the spike tiles were and to see if I could kill them. because if you're just going to reset back out anyway, you don't lose too much time by going to check.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely would have avoided Carrie like the plague. Carrie's a problem when she's not clamped.
Definitely.
But hey, we do find Matoya in Matoya.
Seriously, are these locations even shuffled? Oh, and she's got a crown. Well, at least the treasures are.
And that's an Ice Sword -4.
Sweet, so that's base. Is that a minus? Or is that just an Ice Sword 4?
No, that's a -4. I think. We are using a solution that lowers the resolution a bit for us, so that actually makes the minuses a little hard to make out, so, chat is saying that's a dirt sword, so I think that was a minus.
Makes sense to me.
Let's see. But yeah, Darkmoon dumping a fade on these R bones, which are less dangerous than normal bones.
I was not aware of that. Well, I mean, in this seed, yeah, because the bones...
No. R bones are normally terrible, but the fact that they're not murdering us is nice. But yeah, so... there you go. Here's Floor Shuffle. Matoya's Cave leads to the second floor of Ice Cave, which leads down to Matoya.
Amazing.
Min being spicy. He's gonna see if he can just take care of Carrie with, this Fade caster.
Two, yeah, well...
Yeah, Ice 2's not gonna do him much good, but Fade,
Well, that was just a cool 442 damage to the fighter.
Yeah, welcome to Carrie. She's awful.
Especially when clamped at 300.
Yeah. So, the big problem with this strategy from Min is even Carrie 1 has ridiculous magic defense. But he manages to kill her.
Amazing. So Min on our side being the first orblet at only 7 minutes and 38 seconds.
All right, now he just has to live long enough to get back to Canaria and revive his party.
Hey, there might be a decent run in the encounter table. He's got enough cabins to get back.
But yeah, no, that was a bold play. And I, for one, approve of it.
So it looks like, I think, Provoca ended up going to Bahamut?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So, the bright side is, when they find, if and/or when they find the tail, they'll be able to, quickly class change, because I don't think because I'm assuming that Bahamut was Bahamut.
Why? Could the NPCs be shuffled?
Well, I hadn't looked to see, but yeah, Objective NPC Shuffle is not turned on.
Gotcha.
But it could have been. And if that had been turned on, then there was a chance that Bahamut would have been Dr. Oon, or the Elf Doctor.
Interesting.
Oh, it's a great flag, because it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I have the herb, I need the airship to turn it in.
Looks like Elfland was that Agama floor that you saw earlier.
Alright, and Elfland Castle?
Is Elfland Castle.
I am so confused at what I have wrought. I'm gonna be honest here.
It has been, like, there's been a silly amount of vanilla locations already.
Yeah, now, here is the thing about that, though. We've already had a lot of shallow dungeons.
That's also true.
So
we're gonna have a lot of deep dungeons, too.
That's what I'm pulling for. Like, the thing I love about Floor Shuffle is it can wind up with these, like, 10-floor monstrosities that, like, take you through some of the worst floors in the game, and then at the end you get, like, a gauntlet that casts Ice 3.
So, another question. Do we know if, on top of the potentially dangerous monstrosities, do we also have procedurally generated waterfall turned on?
We do not.
Ah, boo. Boo.
Yeah, I know. It's like these seeds almost are fun, and then they just stop being fun.
Yeah, you know, they were so close to having something perfect.
Well, you have to go to war with the army you have.
Anyway.
Yeah, so Min down his fighter at the moment, trying to make his way back from Matoya with that crown in hand, and gets there. Oh, Darren dries, remembering that these
Heads
linked
up.
chests.
Yeah, these are linked to some chests up on the Agama floor. It's a real heads-up play to remember that and actually go for them.
Yeah, because I don't think he's seen that Agama floor is available in Elfland. So this is a good heads-up play to just go ahead and grab this chest. Pro rings are at +2 tonight. That is some legitimate armor right there.
Yeah, let's just take the best hand armor in the game and make it better.
I mean, a pro ring +5 is basically just like, hey, so I heard you wanted a chainmail that you can wear on your hand.
It's like, I heard you wanted your white mage to be a frontline tank.
Yeah, white mage, even with good equipment, still not a very good tank. But chain armor is also +2.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's really good news for these red mages. Because that's
the red mages, good news for the fighters.
Yeah. Chat pointing out that we did see these pro rings in Crescent Lake for 2,700, so...
Oh, so they're dirt cheap too, so it's not going to be hard to outfit your whole party.
Oh yeah, now that is going to be good eating for the first person who bothers to go back there with money. Because that'll keep your party alive for a while, and we find an herb here on Agama floor.
Nice.
So that's going to be good news for Darkmoon, who I believe has seen Elfland Castle.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so, considering he's right there. Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah. So let's see what the Elf Prince has for us today. I'm calling 2 gold.
4 gold? 1,109 gold. Alright, still just gold.
Yeah. Darkmoon goes ahead and resets out of it. I think I would have kept it, honestly. Like...
Yeah, I mean, that's a decent... It's not like... If it's 4 digits worth of gold and, like, it's that little to just walk it out of the castle, I would have kept it too.
Yeah,
especially because you're wasting so much time going back to get that chain.
Yeah, because we have the, we have randomized treasure on today, with normal wealth setting. So it is one of those things, money is not going to necessarily be the easiest thing to come by. -1 katana.
That's still a pretty good weapon for the ninja. Like, it's not as good as you would hope, but still an endgame worthy weapon.
Yeah. So, one thing that I did forget to point out with Min going ahead and killing Carrie, he got a 25% boost to his XP and gold gain.
That is a massive, massive bonus for Min.
Oh yeah, like he is going to be ahead of the curve once he starts, like, taking fights. Because I think he's mostly avoided fights since he's still level 4. But,
yeah.
But once he gets rolling, he is going to be rolling.
For sure. And,
Yeah.
like, that was a calculated gamble, but it paid off so huge for me.
Yeah, also, we have Oxyale in the top Agama chest. So, Agama floor with the value, potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sure, the herb didn't turn into much, but who knows where the Oxyale will lead us.
Yeah, so, just so it's clear, the Oxyale does still open the entrance in Onrak. That entrance in Onrak can lead to anything. So it is not uncommon for folks to refer to, quote-unquote, the dungeon under Onrak. But speaking of being able to lead to anything, did we have, that middle floor in South Marsh lead to the bottom of Marsh? Because I think we had that happen.
It might have. I didn't. Yeah, it does look that way. I'm pretty sure that's where Dark Moon was.
Yeah. So, let's see. It looks like Titan's West leads to the top of Ice Cave. Darren takes a moment to take note of that and possibly consider if he wants to deal with this. And I think that's an Excal -5.
Oh, hey, Astos' castle.
Okay.
If
I don't think
Green
Darren
had
has the
his-
crown.
Exactly.
But hey, we know where that turn-in is now, so that's nice.
Yeah, and when everyone else stumbles across it in their own, banging their heads against this seed, they'll be able to just take it right away.
Yeah. So, it is one of the things about Entrance Shuffle, that, like, it feels like you're banging your head against things, but one of the things that makes Floor Shuffle interesting is a lot of it comes down to kind of knowing where you can kind of push your luck, and knowing, like, alright, I just need a couple of things to break my way to be able to push through something like, Mirage Floor 2.
Looks like I got a harm gauntlet in that bottom of marsh.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. We already know that the undead have some issues, and while Fade is a fairly reliable way to kill it, being able to just pop an extra 40 onto undead, not something you're going to turn down.
Definitely not. And MG Weirdo is saying that it was a +5 gauntlet, so not a bad equip either.
Yeah. And depending on if that is the Zeus or the Power Gauntlet, it may already be equipable.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looked like he tossed it onto... Well, he must have put it on the fighter. I'm not sure if he tried to equip it or not.
Yeah, it's one of those things, with speed some of these folks are menuing, and okay, yeah, Min's already level 11 on a couple of his characters.
Yeah, so, yeah, rocketing off with that 25% XP bonus.
Yeah. I mean, it's just additive, so I think it puts him at, like, 3.75 times XP boost, but that is still a significant bonus.
Yeah, and when it's most likely that, okay, apparently it was a -5 gauntlet, and MG was just having the same issue that we are with the resolution. So there's not a whole lot of a point in equipping it.
Yeah. Well, worst case scenario, I think it's still a situation where it's like, it's still a +1. Like, I do not believe... Alright, Simple Sarah in chat confirming that it's a +5. So, thank you very much for that. So, that is good news. It pretty much means that we are looking at a pretty hefty piece of kit for the runners who have it. So,
Yeah.
Let's take a quick walk around to see where everyone else is. Rojo finding the herb, as is Darren.
So another thing about that XP bonus for Min and the fact that he's already taken off in levels, that could snowball for him if he comes across any other Fiend floors, because he was able to level up so much more, it'll make it that much easier for him to keep taking out Fiends and getting a further XP bonus.
That's very true, but it just kind of depends on where those Fiend floors land. Sometimes with Floor Shuffle, you wind up in a situation where it's like, huh, all 4 of my Fiend dungeons are on the Inner Sea. And then sometimes you wind up in a situation where it's like, huh, all my Fiend dungeons are canoe-locked. And the canoe is buried at the bottom of a 10-floor dungeon. With one of the branches.
And a bunch of those bones with poison.
Yeah. That is the other thing about Floor Shuffle in general, is just like, normally when you see something bad early game, it's just like, I won't have to deal with this again after about 20 minutes. But with Floor Shuffle, it's just like, why do you keep coming back for more?
Yeah, it definitely makes seeing something with a scary ability that much scarier, because you never know when it's going to pop its head in again.
Yeah, I believe the nuclear winter seed is the best example of this.
Oh, -5 Excalibur. You hate to see it if you're a runner, love to see it if you're us.
Eh, yeah. Nuclear winter, for the record, was a seed that was rolled, I think for a weekly back in, like, December. It had wizards that had Nuke and Blizzard, and all three of the floors that wizards spawn on were floors that that block progression. So
Good lord.
you had to go through them, and the encounter table was laid out in a way where you were almost guaranteed to have to deal with them. It was so bad that of the 3 runners that finished, 2 of them ground on a War Mech encounter. Because Tiamat's floor was available at Temple of Fiends right off the bat, and War Mech was the first encounter from Power Cycle. And they had Bane.
Fight War Mech, that's some, like, Tucker's Kobolds level of mech.
No, it gets worse. They had Bane available, so one of the runners literally would Power Cycle, run in, find War Mech, throw Bane at him until either he died or it died. And eventually he managed to get a black belt off the ground by just spamming Bane at War Mech until it stuck.
That's incredible. That's so good.
Yeah, the other runner, I believe, like, just managed to chip down a couple of War Mechs and get to the same point. One person managed to actually, like, just bull his way through the nuclear winter, but yeah, it is one of the worst seeds I've ever seen, and I believe we found the other side of Titan's Tunnel. Judging by...
I believe it was Melmond.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, I think chat pointed that out earlier, so we have the Titan's Trove flag turned on for this. And that flag reshuffles or rearranges the Titan's Tunnel so that the Titan is blocking you from getting to those 4 chests no matter which way you go. So, unless you have the ruby, those are 4 chests you do not get access to.
Very true. And it makes it a little more interesting with, like, your normal incentivized flags, because you can incentivize the Titan's Trove and make it harder to get to. In this seed, though, it's basically just another 4 checks that hopefully you'll get to make.
Yeah. Also, I just realized that Darren did the right thing, naming his Red Mage Woat. Good job, Darren. You get a gold star.
Aw, how nice of Darren.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I consider myself something of a red mage.
I consider myself something of a bard.
I mean, yeah, in D&D terms, I'm absolutely a bard. But in,
This is the closest we got.
Yeah, exactly. Red mages are basically bards.
As we all learned by reading 8-bit theater as children.
Yep. But no, red mage is kind of good at kind of okay at everything. Not the person you want to lean on most of the time, but also definitely able to provide support, and also snazzy dresser. The metaphor is perfect.
Whereas a bard is a jack of all trades, I'm more of a jackass of all trades.
Yep. I just like telling stories.
Who doesn't? Oh, hey, it's a cabin that the crown turns into.
Yeah.
And Min resets out of that encounter.
Now, see, if we had bonk locations on today, or no, if we had incentivized items that were free, that cabin could have been the Stardust Special.
What is the Stardust Special?
Alright, so when we were first hold on. Dark Moon has wings. Because we have the floater, and one of the flags that is turned on is Extended Open Progression. what Extended Open Progression does is it adds both a walkable path from Dwarves to Northwest Castle and a dock right next to Ryukon Desert.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah, Dark.
a +3 opal bracelet, as well as there also being another incentivized item there.
Yeah, the bottle. So, and Min is also about to find that, and I like his chances of walking it out of here better than I like Dark Moon's. But yeah, right now Min is in an amazing position. It really makes me wonder if how many other of our competitors in this made that play to kill Carrie early.
It's tough to say because like Carrie is, like you said, Carrie is scary clamped at 300.
Absolutely, and like Min barely squeaked out that win. He lucked out that Carrie rolled low on HP because I think he only did maybe 500 or 600 damage, 700 at most. So like he basically managed to kind of just pull that one out. So either way, he and Darkmoon are both going to push to get out of here. And
Definitely.
Darkmoon's already out. Min is not going to be far behind him, I suspect. Because if you look at his HP totals already compared to where Darkmoon's HP maxes are, you can see how big that orb is working in Min's favor, right? Min actually going a little bit deeper, finding out there's a waterfall below that mirage.
That's definitely an interesting one. I would imagine that Min will walk all this gear out first, but I can understand the urge to just like go to waterfall because there's a lot of chests at the end of it.
Yeah, there's 7 checks there, and you can also examine a spike tile. Not a convenient spike tile, but a spike tile. But he knows he already has airship access. He can come back later when he's found his warp or exit.
Which is a more reasonable play to make at this point.
But yeah, so Darkmoon, the first of our runners on this stream to get airborne, Min is not going to lag far behind him.
No, and again, I would say that Min has, like, not just because Min's lit the orb and has all that extra XP, but the fact that Min has killed a fiend gives Min the, like, exploration progression advantage.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those things, it's not going to be... Carrie was not very deep.
That's
so...
true.
I imagine most of these runners are going to eventually go after her. Like, basically, once they kind of hit that level, I don't know, probably level 13 or 15 mark, and probably find a sword that's actually worth anything, they'll go back for her, but yeah.
Yeah, we've been a little lacking on melee weapons.
Yeah, that Fade is kind of our main offense right now. Darkmoon does dig up Earth 4 here at Volcano, and finds absolutely nothing of worth in that, like, top area.
And chooses to reset out before going to check the bottom area. Oh hey, we've got Sarda giving us basically no money.
Oh, the Sarda special. I was going to explain that before we found the floater. So, back when we were first testing NPC Shuffle, I believe it was, and a couple of other things relating to, like, NPC item incentivization, all that, it was discovered that if you had an item, an incentive location, but nothing to go in that incentive location because you made it for Hello Tail.
Hey there, and we've already found Bahamut, so Min can class change whenever he feels like it.
Min and anyone else who decides to go to the ice... Wow, that's actually super convenient, because that's right next to Provoca.
Yeah, like, this is fantastic for, Min. Anyway, incentive items, Sarda, NPC Shuffle.
Right, so the cabin is, I believe, kind of the lowest index item or something like that. I'm not 100% on the details, but the important thing is when the game is looking for what should go in this position, and it's like, oh, I should put the ship here. And then it looks and goes, oh, but they already have a ship. It kind of just goes, well, I guess you're getting a cabin.
Ah, nice. Also, I'm not sure, I'm guessing they were in the Earth floor there, but Dark Moon found 2+4 ice swords.
Nice. And it looks like underneath Earth 4 was Earth 3.
So it's kind of like French vanilla, I guess?
Yeah, we've had a lot of shared dungeons. Yeah, you can see by the background he's still in the volcano dungeon. So the fun thing about Floor Shuffle that the devs set up, your backdrop will always be related to the entrance you came in through. So that's how you can kind of remember where you are. So Dark Moon came into this dungeon by going through the volcano, so all of his battles have the volcano backdrop.
Makes sense. And is, something that seems a little necessary with trying to keep all of this madness straight.
Yeah. The other thing that you'll notice is the color palettes for certain dungeons have been changed. And that's also related to where you come in through.
Hello, mermaids!
Nice. So Min is about to be in the money.
Yeah, that's a lot of checks to be able to make. And it looks like Big Eyes and Gersharks are unrunnable. They managed to back row Min's Black Mage.
Yeah, and Dark Moon finding a vampire pack, I'm guessing, at the Earth Elemental encounter tile. So that's very good intel for him in terms of, what's going to horribly murder him if he tries to check certain chests on Earth floors.
Absolutely. And it did give him... And it's got a key in it!
Oh my god!
Hey, and there's an adamant on the mermaid side.
So, yeah, Rojo and Darren kind of, at least in terms of these four runners, at a little bit of an exploration disadvantage compared to Dark Moon and Min.
Though Rojo's doing a third eye grind right now, so his XP is not going to be hurting.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's Rojo, for the record.
Oh, okay. Rojo, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Everyone makes that mistake the first time. Like, he has had to make multiple reminders to folks that it's pronounced Rojo, and we've had to in turn tell him that,
You shouldn't have spelled it that way?
Yeah, basically. But yeah, it's Rojo.
So yeah, that was a... So, yeah, that was fun. That was a fun mermaid's floor.
Yeah, now if only we had any idea where the dwarves were.
If only.
But yeah, that was under on-rack. So... Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute?
Sorry, I just realized, oh, the mermaids! You need the Oxyel to get to. Anyway, Min's going to go back in there because he ran through the Volcano Armory floor to get to the mermaids, so he is going back because he wants all of the delicious, delicious valuables. Meanwhile, Dark Moon, forced to fight his way out with these two Ice Sword +3 wielders.
Yeah.
Mostly because he lost two of his party members getting through that vampire encounter. Now, the good news for Dark Moon is,
Also, he doesn't have a rod to go any further down.
Yeah. If he finds a shallow earth floor with that earth elemental spike tile associated, which I think at this point... well, yeah, no, Earth 2 and Earth 1 are still out there. If he finds one of those floors shallow, that's gonna be really good to grind on. Like, that encounter's that encounter's got some good XP to it, and, like, it looked like the Whiz Vampire maybe had 300 health on him. Like he survived the fade and then went down to a hit from the fighter. So that is not an encounter that he necessarily is going to want to shun, because I don't think that it was necessarily any skill that killed his party. I think it was just the raw damage
Yeah.
that 6 vampires and a whiz vampire can punch out.
Though, for Dark Moon's sake, since we know that the 3-eye tile is on the top floor of Mirage, hopefully he'll find that before he finds that, the vampire tile for grinding.
Oh, I didn't catch that earlier. Who spotted that?
That was Rojo. You were correcting me on his name, as I said that he was fighting the third eye grind.
Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, and that's not a bad location to have to get to, so...
No, not at all. It's very quick to just get in there and start grinding, depending on where it is.
Yeah, and Rojo has also killed Carrie now, so... not something he's going to complain about.
Oh, hey, caps are +2. That still doesn't really make them worth it. I'm kidding.
I mean... Well, yeah, no, it's one of those things. You're not wrong, but it is also like, have we really seen any other headgear?
Yeah, exactly.
And Semi-Stable calling out in chat, Min found a canoe in Fire Armory. That's good news, bad news for him, because that's going to probably lengthen the time it's going to take him to actually, like, go find that key. Because we do not have short Temple of Fiends on today, so we do need that key in order to finish the game.
Absolutely true, though, it's also, could be worse news. At least now he doesn't have to go to his boat ever again.
This is true, although, I can't think of any locations where you would... Now that he has the airship, I don't think there's anywhere that he, would need to use the canoe for.
Yeah,
that he would need the boat.
Rojo back the eyes, making his way out, I'm guessing. Or he's doing a solo grind.
I mean, he has that plus 25. Ah, we find a ribbon.
Oh, he's doing a solo grind with his fighter.
Yeah, that's a -2 ribbon, so... I don't think that actually changes anything.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. You put it on there for the, the resistances it gives you, as opposed to the absorb it gives you.
Yeah. We also found a blind gauntlet in there. Blind being one of our power word spells. Not that you're ever going to use it, because anything that's under 300 HP, you're not going to benefit by casting Dark on it.
No, not so you'd notice. And Min refilling his stash of heal pots.
Absolutely.
Oh, hey! The Bridge of Destiny shows up on Darendree's side.
Yeah, I didn't see where he found that, but, and we're never going to know until someone else finds it or chat tells us. Hint, hint.
And it looks like Dark Moon's finally going to promote.
Yeah, going to be able to strap on that those Excals he's got lying around. And those katanas.
The katanas are a little better than the -5 Excals.
Yeah, that +4 Ice Sword, I think also you might... Yeah, I think even the Ice Sword might be better in this situation than the Excalibur.
Yeah, I think between the +4 on the Ice Sword and the -5 on the Excal, you're better off with the Ice Swords. Oh. Apparently on-rack was vanilla, okay. And Min, once again, doing a heads-up play, got this floor in Ordeals and goes to check the linked chest that normally you skip.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things he's gonna get... Like, Ordeals stays together. It's like the bottom of Ice Cave.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Yeah, well, it's basically one of those things, the way that, the stairs and the pillars are coded, it would be an absolute nightmare to try and separate them, and the same goes for the holes in Ice Cave. So it's easier to just keep them all together. So those are the two dungeons that once you see that first floor, you know you're in for it. Now with Ice Cave, the first 3 layers of Ice Cave are safe to
Shuffle.
separate out. Yeah, it's just the floor that the floater's on, and then the 2 levels through the drop down that have to stay with the floater level because
Keep
those are all linked
holy
together.
floors together.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Rojo's going real high on his fighter with this solo grind.
I mean, I don't hate the idea. It's
Not at
one of
all.
those. Yeah, it's one of those things. It sets you up to basically just be able to say, you know what? It doesn't matter what these weapons are. I am going to just
Yeah.
murder everything and call it a day.
Just hit level 35.
And still going. He may just be thinking he's going to be a little bit annoyed when he finds the airship in the tail, and then it's just like, oh, I could have had 4 shots of fade. Oops.
Yeah, that definitely would have made this grind a lot quicker.
Well, I mean, it's more just a matter of like,
Also
because
getting
of,
spell charges.
yeah. But it may be a situation where he's just thinking, you know what? I don't care about spell charges on this night. I just want to be able to kill everything in my path.
Yeah, and I mean, with a knight this high and with an ice sword that high of a plus, you've got a pretty decent shot at doing that.
Yeah, like Fade, you don't really need on that fighter because it's not going to do as much damage as him just swinging his sword.
Yeah, this fighter's gonna do his best impression of a One Punch Man black belt. And level 40 already.
Yeah. Min, meanwhile, appears to be lost in the pillar maze.
Yeah, having some real trouble with that.
Yeah, it's fine. He'll find his way out here in a minute. Judging by the background... Yeah, I think this is in Marsh Cave.
That would make sense, yeah. With the green and the slime on the walls.
Yeah. I mean, this could also be Titan West entrance. I think that also uses... Ah, Cardia Forest. Thank you, weirdo.
Good to know.
Yeah, I guess I could go look at the notes that are being thrown together by Zodecahedron.
Yeah, I mean, it's awfully nice of them to do that for us. So many choices to make on Min's side. Oh, he makes it! He got to the freaking staircase.
Alright, so let's find out what horrible thing is going to murder him and force him to do it again.
A mud goal and a bunch of sorcerers.
Okay, never mind. They're dead now.
As was foretold in the prophecy, a -3 mute stick and a cube. We might need that. Who knows?
I mean, Rojo's just spent the last, 10 minutes in front of that cube lock, so we know where it is.
Cat claw -5. More
Oh
like
no!
kitten claws.
Bones and crawls. This is actually bad.
Yeah, this could actually be fatal.
Gets the Ice 2 off, and his knight is still alive.
Yep.
So, Min
Just
getting
barely
all
makes
of that
it out
XP no one wants. So, he gets his prize and gets out.
Yeah, there's a semi-vanilla
Yeah, I don't
dragon
think-
area.
I think that the dead ends are omitted from the floor shuffle.
Ah, okay.
At least I thought that was a flag that you can turn on or off.
Apparently, we had oh, this is a great floor. But
Yeah.
it was a vanilla Bahamut run-up, -3 fog hammer.
Yeah. So yeah, include dead ends was not flipped on for this, so the 2 dead ends in the Cardia Islands are still dead ends. But it's an easy thing to forget about, so...
Definitely. Ugh, this unrunnable nightmare badman encounter is kind of annoying when you've only got 2 party members left up.
Yeah. Min might want to go ahead and go find a town.
Yeah.
But,
Instead, find some earth.
okay, well, yeah, if that 3-eye grind wasn't easily accessible, that would be an easy way to find that Wiz Vampire fight.
Definitely.
Alright, so Min's gonna keep checking Provoca. So
That'll
he's
get
gonna
you
be able
your
to
party
pick his
members
party
back
up.
up.
Yeah. And I believe we do have unsafe pirates as an option today. Nope, we don't. Lame.
Gosh. What cowards. Oh, level 2 warp. That'll be helpful.
Oh yeah, and Bane. Min probably really wishing he had checked here before going to Ordeals.
Yeah. Especially with how much trouble he had with that damn maze.
Yep. But, you know.
C'est la vie. It looks like Rojo may have gotten disconnected.
Yeah. Still in the SRL channel, so it may just be a matter of, like, his stream experiencing a hiccup because Twitch has been acting funny.
Rude of it.
Anyway,
No, we're trying to Irongol.
Anyway, we steal all of Biggie's treasure, and we find a crystal.
Brilliant. One more thing we can turn into some, you know, bubblegum money.
And Min immediately using Warp, and we find Melman south of Provoca.
Yeah, looks like we got Harm 4 and Cure 3 for white magic, and then we've got Lit 3 and Lock for interesting black magic.
Yeah. Lock, that cheap lock, I'd pick it up too.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you may not find Lock 2, you may end up in a situation where casting it's the right move.
Well, the nice thing about Lock and Lock 2, the only difference is one is multi-target, otherwise they have the exact same effect. So, since you're normally casting Lock against, like, fiends and things of that sort, it's not the end of the world to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna cast Lock 2, or I'm just gonna cast Lock. And Min is going to go ahead and check this cube block.
Yeah, and finds the third eye grind, so if Min wants to get more levels, this is the place.
Yeah, these eyes, you know, at least able to survive. Ooh, good heads up play by Min.
Yeah, muting the eyes just in case they have something nasty. Not a bad plan at all.
So, just to address a quick question, chat. In the vanilla game, neither lock spell has a very good accuracy, actually. We have a flag that gives them both 100% accuracy. And that is turned on for this. So lock has value in this seed. But yeah, the big difference between them is just Lock 2 hits all enemies, Lock 1 just hits one enemy. But since, like I said, you mainly use Lock in boss fight situations, it doesn't matter whether you pick up Lock or Lock 2, because both of them are going to be equally useful in the situation where you want them.
That is good information to have, and to the shock of no one, Min is also taking some time to do a bit of a grind on this eye tile.
Yeah, forgetting that you can go left and right with this tile and avoid, you know, the risk of taking an off-step encounter.
Yeah, that's one of those things you just gotta, you know, see in your gameplay and learn to correct.
Yeah. So, the reason for that is any room that has a door, like this one, the bottom row of tiles where you kind of have that little ridge, that's the, top of the wall, those tiles do not advance the encounter table. So
yeah, so Min may end up, stepping in some stuff that he's not looking for, but he's still making some great XP here.
yeah. The nice thing is, at least in this dungeon, and on this floor, anything that you'd hit on the off step is probably a fight you would want to take anyway.
Very true.
So,
until it starts rolling out nuclears or nukes or what have you.
Well, fortunately, I do not believe nuclear is in the normal enemy table. Although nuke can be. Min at least does remember that doors don't advance the encounter table. Oh, I forgot we had NPC Guillotine on.
You gotta love being able to kill some enemies that are in your way. Min would have been done well to remember that because he got body blocked by a dragon just recently.
Yeah, but so the reason that this flag is not, in the primary randomizer yet is because they're still working on how to make it so that it doesn't let you just skip the rod and loot blocks. All the runners have sworn a sacred oath with their blood to not use NPC Guillotine to skip using the loot and the rod. And so, that will be enforced upon penalty of death if anyone is found to have violated that sacred trust.
Excellent.
Anyway, Rojo finds his floater.
And his bridge, and I think Adamant was here. No, Adamant was
the bottle.
The mermaid's bottle, that's right.
I was wondering why Darkmoon was back in Swamp, because I thought he got out of here, but I guess he wiped and there was a fast gone. There's a fast casting item. He wants that.
Yeah, absolutely you would. That's the most important buff in the game, and you get an item that'll do it for free? Yes, please, give me 3.
So.
Then up to 24 and warping out.
Yeah, Rojo, meanwhile, finally making a play to check out this waterfall cave we saw way back when.
Back in 2019.
Little later than that. But yeah. Which, I mean, this makes sense compared to when Darkmoon and Min saw it, because they were still single digits or early double digits in level, whereas Lonk exists on Rojo's side.
Yeah, yeah, Lonk sure does exist.
He fears nothing.
I hope we run into something with Death Touch that gives him pause.
No, he doesn't even fear Death Touch. His M defense at this point is so high, he literally can only be 2 and 256'd.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so the Bridge of Destiny was at Onrak.
It sure
which
was.
Which would explain why I think it was Darren who found it, reset out, because he didn't want to walk back from Onrak. Fair
enough. Whereas Min is just resetting a bunch to try and get a decent run on the Bridge of Destiny.
Mm-hmm. We will not see a Warmech here. Warmech is patrolling today. That means that there is an NPC wandering around on the on the Floating Fortress 4th floor that, if you talk to it, will be a Warmech encounter. That removes Warmech from the Bridge of Destiny's encounter table. So keep your Bless RNGs in your pocket, and the robot actually giving us a key item. That is TNT.
Oh, interesting. And unfortunately, it's not one of the ones required to beat the game, but we are about to pull our second Fiend on Min the Mage's side as he goes up against Tiamat. We got us some fast being cast on both of our melee party members. 2 hits, 212 damage, 1 hit for only 66 damage. Tiamat's a little tanky tonight.
Evasive and tanky, not a combination we'll see. Those locks are immediately coming out, so...
And who could blame you when you're seeing Tiamat dodge that much? Ooh, 4 hits for 6 damage? Yikes. We might be real... Oh, and your hat got taken out.
That's fine. We still have someone who can throw locks out there, and we still have 2 guys up swinging. The ninja's probably the one that Min is counting on, because that katana -1 still has a lot of crit chance.
Yeah, though that ninja is now blinded.
Oh no! Dark, whatever shall we do? That is the worst thing that could possibly... Dark doesn't matter.
I didn't know if Dark was one of the many things that got fixed in the randomizer.
No, Dark works perfectly fine. It's just that the penalty it imposes doesn't matter.
Fair
Like,
enough.
it's just a weak status effect.
Gotcha.
It's not broken. It just sucks.
Fair enough, okay.
But yeah, Min now resorting to fade strats with that red wizard as the rest of the party continues to chip away at this Tiamat. Darkmoon did light his fire orb, so Darren is the only runner on our side who has not yet bothered to slay Carrie. But,
Meanwhile, Min's still chipping away at Tiamat, and a final fade for 302 takes him out.
alright, and that gets Min's party up to the mid-20s. So, Min never has to come back to Onrak, because that was literally all there was in that dungeon. But he has 2 orbs lit. This is, yeah.
Yeah, Min's making great progress so far.
And hey, Elfland, with your level 3 and 4 spell... Okay, Quake and Brack. Our restreamer will be happy to see those. Would have been really nice if we'd had Brack about, oh, I don't know, a minute ago.
Yeah, especially with how tanky that damned 6-headed Dragon Queen was.
Life 2 accessible to both knights and red mages. That's beautiful.
It certainly is.
I think Min just realized, wait a minute. That was the 3rd slot.
Yeah, and that's gonna be tough for Rojo because, you know, you want to have as many Life 2 casts as you can get, but I also don't think he cares, because that knight is never going to die.
Yeah. Alright, so we found Temper, Exit, Lock 2, and Confuse.
Temper, something else that would have been extremely useful about a minute and a half ago.
Yeah. Either way, though, we are in, we're in pretty good shape now with those 3rd and 4th level spells that were apparently where all of the value for the spells was hiding.
Yeah, Exit as well? Good lord.
Yeah, so Min is a very happy mage with 2 orbs already lit.
Yep, and now, even if we run into some real deep dungeons, Min has Exit, so he can get out nice and fast.
And Life 2.
Yeah,
like
which makes those long dives so much safer.
Abso-freaking-lutely. So yeah, we're going to see where he goes from here. Let's see. Let's see, I think he still has the Lefane location to check. He hasn't been over to Ordeals. Those are kind of the 2 big entrances we haven't seen yet. We don't have a chime, so we can't open the Mirage Tower yet. Chime still locks entrance to the Mirage Tower in Floor and Entrance Shuffle. Let's see. The Rod would be nice to find, because we know where the Rod block is, but... Or, you know, I don't actually have... Yeah, he never finished diving these dungeons in Cardia. He saw where they were, but now he has the ammo to deal with them.
Correct. And yeah, especially now with that 2nd orb lit and having Exit, much better time to go ahead and dive deeper.
Yeah. Looks like we have a +1 Iron Shield. That's not the worst thing to strap to that ninja.
No, not at all. Equip some +5 wooden armor from the look of it.
Yeah. Let's see, where's Rojo? I believe this is a no, this is Earth Cave. Or it might be a Cardia entrance that has Earth Cave's back. No, this is Earth Cave, I remember. Because Min was here without the floater before.
Min finding the vampires will never hurt you tile.
And Darren finding the ruby somewhere.
Oh, my golden rings. Those -3 gold bracelets are not what they're cracked up to be.
Is that a Mazmune +5? That is a Mazda +5.
That is an absolutely ridiculous weapon. It literally does not get better than that.
Yeah, no, like, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the most broken weapon in this entire video game. So yeah, Dark Moon behind an orb's lit out of these 4 runners, but he just found the value.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's an entrance Min has already looked at. I don't know if he's going to go back and finish it.
I think he might, because I think there was a divergent path in there.
Katana +5, if you have a ninja, is probably on par with a Maza +5. Maybe. But yeah.
In this game, where katanas are -1, it is unequivocally the best weapon in the game.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, the katana -1 is still going to do work, don't get me wrong, but...
Yeah, it's better than, putting a Vorpal on her. Maybe if Vorpal's +5, there's an argument. I'm not 100% sure where that lands the power levels.
I think I think a Vorpal +5 does beat out a Katana -1, but it's one of those things where it's just like, but I have a Maza +5. I'm just going to put it on and not care.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now,
that's a ridiculous weapon.
The thing is this is randomized treasures. There is a non-zero chance there's a second one.
Ooh, don't get my hopes up like that.
Well, it's normal, so, it's a very small chance, but there is a chance.
It's true, we already have seen 2 Excals.
And hey, here are the dwarves that we've been looking for. We have deliveries to make. Min, unfortunately, not having that key, but, we'll at least be able to see what these 2 dwarves have in store.
This could actually be real bad, or...
I thought he had the TNT. Does he not?
It's not lit up on Min's side.
Okay. I thought it was.
And it looks like Min's about to go back and into this Bahamut drop-down, so he's probably going to find his +5 Masa very shortly.
Uh-huh. And that is going to be hilarious. Okay, he just never went in here. Or maybe he did go in here and took a wipe.
I think he went in here and backed out because he had 2 party members down at the time that he showed up here.
I think you're right. I think this is part of his, yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. So, Min is going to, finish exploring here, find that Maza +5, be like, I could have had this, half an hour ago.
Yeah, but still better to have than not at this point.
Yeah. Also, I'm so going to get yelled at by Will Bloodworth after this for rolling a seed like this.
Hey, at least we had a lot of, peril early.
I mean, we still can have plenty of peril. I'm going to point out this has not been a free seed. Like, every single nice thing that the runners have had, they have absolutely needed.
For sure.
Like, I'm just saying, when you have level 1 Fade and barely manage to squeak out victories against 2 Fiends, that is not a polite seed.
Not even a little. We're about an hour in now. For those of you who joined us late, this is an Irongol Heavyweight Championship Royal Rumble, with the winner becoming the new #1 contender for the Irongol Heavyweight Championship. Thank you so much for joining us. Please be sure to follow our runners, as well as following our trackers and our restreamer.
Absolutely, and if you need to know how to do so, let me help you out here. And while you're looking at pretty links, there's one to our Discord. So Darkmoon does find that ruby. I don't know if anyone's actually gone back to check the Titan yet and see what he has.
I have not seen anyone go back with a ruby.
So we'll see what happens. Rojo giving us a look at Lefane, though, so this will tell us something. I don't know what, but it'll tell us something.
Gaia? Tell us that he doesn't have the bottle. Well, he does have the bottle, I think.
Yeah, he should have the bottle because it was in the same room as the floater.
Yeah, I have trouble recognizing the bottle's icon on this tracker.
And hey, Quad X is learnable by a red wizard, so that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, that can always, help in a pinch.
I mean, granted, Rojo doesn't have a red wizard, but if he did...
Yeah. It'll help red wizards when they get there eventually, if they get there eventually.
Yeah. Anyway, Min does find his Maza, and, yeah, just like Darkmoon, immediately straps it to the fighter, tapes it to the fighter's hand, wraps the tape in chains, and then magnetizes the chains together.
And dips the whole thing in crazy glue.
Yeah. Min, though, taking advantage of already having exit to just immediately leave that dungeon and never have to go back.
Yeah, like I said, the fact that he didn't go sooner, yeah, it hurts that he wasn't getting to swing that Masa sooner, but having exit gets him out of that deep dungeon nice and fast.
Mm-hmm. And he's gonna grab his ruby as well. I think probably with where the Titans' entrances were, probably if anyone turns in that ruby, it's going to be toward the end of the game, when you're heading back toward Temple of Fiends. If you don't have everything you might want, I could see someone making the quick dip into Titan's Tunnel to check those 4 chests and then head out. And yeah, the ferry just had 305 G. So, yeah. That G does not stand for 1,000. Let me tell you. But yeah, Min and Darkmoon more or less high-fiving. They're both heading down the same branch of the same dungeon. Actually, no, they're kind of in similar boats right now. I think Darkmoon might not have as many levels as Min, just because Min took the time to do a little bit of grinding, and also has had that first orb lit almost the entire game.
Yeah, which made his grinds significantly quicker.
Yeah, but I don't think Darkmoon's really stopped to grind. I think he's been relying on what we like to term the walking grind, where, you take the fights that will pay off. And hi, Lich.
Ah, yes, Darkmoon will probably light his second orb here by punching Lich very slightly, and Lich going, "Oh god, no," and dying like Lich does.
Hey, you never know. This might be the seed that forces us to respect Lich 1.
How did you manage to say that with a straight face?
Look, I'm the biggest proponent of the respect Lich flag.
There's a flag for that?
But not yet. I keep saying we need it.
Min
the idea
finding
behind
a second ribbon.
Nice.
Or a first ribbon, I'm not sure which.
Nah, the idea of the respect Lich flag essentially being that it forces Lich to roll maximum stats for the scaling.
I really hope that was 800 damage and not 8,000 damage from that swing.
That had to be 800, but hey, so we now know where all 4 fiends are because Rojo has located Kraken at the Castle of Ordeals.
Excellent. So now it's just a matter of finding that loot.
Yeah, finding that loot, Min needs to make the trip to Earth 3 to get that key as well. But yeah, if he goes to check ordeals in the near future, there's a pretty good chance that Min will literally just have all 4 orbs lit. He is close by. There is a chance. There's a very strong chance he may decide, you know what, it's time to go to ordeals, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And yeah, Dark Moon also going ahead and clearing out Lich. So.
Which makes sense. I mean, you're there, Lich doesn't take much.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, this is a good floor for him to do that walking grind I mentioned on, because there's a lot of valuable enemies, and most of these encounters are only 1 or 2 monsters. Except for, like, the Gurmaduses and the Manticores, which tend to go down very, very easily.
So are those teleporter floors in Sky also linked, or is it just a coincidence that going straight down there took him to the Warmech room on Min's side? Out of Spider.
No, those are not forced to be connected, because the teleporter floor in Sky is just a normal floor.
Okay, so Spider leads directly to the Warmech teleporter maze room.
Yeah. So, yeah, get your, God, what emote do we use when we just want someone to do something that's against their best interests because we think it's funny?
Kappa?
Yeah, sure. Get those Kappas in chat, folks, for one of these runners to actually fight Warmech. But,
I mean, you've got a +5 Masa. Like, if I had a +5 Masa, I would 100% take a guaranteed Warmech.
Yeah, that's fair. It's one of those things, though, where, remember, this is a 300% clamped Warmech.
Yeah, but I've still got a +5 Masa.
It's still a clamped Warmech.
I never said it was the smart decision. I said it was the decision I would make.
Fair enough. So Dark Moon is... I think if anyone on this screen is going to hunt down Warmech, I could see Dark Moon being the one to make that decision.
Oh yeah, Dark Moon's just crazy enough to do it.
Crazy was not the adjective I was thinking of, but yeah, sure.
I don't know, I could also see Rojo doing it just because he has Lonk.
Yeah, no, Rojo, if he sees that Warmech NPC, is 100% going to fight it. Lonk has nothing to fear from Warmech at this point.
He's the only one that I would say actively should fight Warmech.
Did you get some extra levels on the rest of his party?
Not even just for that, just because he can.
Well, Dark Moon does not bump into Warmech, but does get to the exit. He's going to see where this leads, and the answer is to that one floor on Volcano where you don't have to fight anyone.
Nice. But yes,
which leads to that one floor on Volcano where you don't really have to fight anyone.
Yeah, like, I always feel unlucky if I have to fight someone on this floor.
Which takes us to, I believe this is the floor on Sea Shrine, what doesn't have anything of value.
Ah, yes, that old floor. And Min does not see a patrolling Warmech.
Although he did take a different route from Dark Moon. Now, it is also a fairly shallow dive, so I could also see one of these runners deciding to finish diving out the dungeon first, and then go back to actually find Warmech.
That's also certainly a possibility.
Oh, never mind, this is Sharknado floor.
Oh, so it's one of the floors with all kinds of value.
Arguably, maybe. It's possible.
Yeah, there's potential for value as opposed to no potential for value.
Anyway, Rojo has gotten through the Ordeals dive. Don't think he's been to Elfland yet. Darren finally getting his tail and probably questioning why he agreed to this.
Vorpal was minus some number, I think 4.
Well, rip Vorpal fans. We hardly knew ye.
Oh, a shirt of ice too. That doesn't sound vanilla at all.
I mean, it might be White Mage equipable. Or White Wizard equipable. Never mind. That's is literally the black
hell.
shirt. I have no idea what this seed is, and I'm the one who rolled it. I think this might just be a Wote special.
It's definitely special, I'll give it that much.
Well, okay, look. When I design flags and call it a Wote special, the whole point is to produce a weird, interesting experience. And
this has definitely been an experience.
And this has definitely been weird. You cannot dispute those two things.
It's always weird when you got a floor and entrance shuffle going on.
Yes, but this is especially weird for floor and entrance shuffle. I'm not sure I've ever seen a floor and entrance shuffle this weird, and... here's the other fork.
Oh, goody goody gumdrops.
This hurts because it's just like... Well, okay, I guess loot is somewhere, and so Min would probably need to dig through here anyway. Yeah, he's just gonna keep going to see... And it ends at Ice Cave.
Yep.
I guess the good news for Dark Moon is that staircase in Ice Cave, I believe, is literally an exit. As in, it has the same effect as casting the exit spell, so he can leave.
Yeah, that is definitely a fringe benefit there.
Yeah, Min doesn't have to care. He can just, exit to his heart's content.
That's assuming he even needs to go down there. Well, I mean, he is going to go because he still doesn't know where the key is, so even if he manages to find the loot.
Yeah, nah, and there's the loot.
Oh, well, there you go. So he'll be finding his loot shortly.
So, Dark Moon is the closest we have to go mode. He has the key and the loot. The big thing for him is he has not seen Kraken and he has not seen Tiamat yet. But fortunately for him, both of those are fairly shallow dives. He just needs to check the right door.
Yeah, like for Tiamat, all he has to do is go to Onrak.
Yeah, and Kraken I don't think was very deep in Ordeals either. Like, I'll admit I wasn't looking too carefully at Rojo's screen when he was making that trip, but it didn't look like he spent very long getting down to Kraken's floor in Ordeals, so...
No, it seemed to be fairly straightforward.
So yeah, now, here's the thing on Dark Moon's side, though. If he sees this ice cave and thinks, he knows there cannot be a fiend down here. Now, he might want the rod, because there is the possibility a fiend is still behind Rod Block. But, if he were willing to take a gamble, this is a situation where he can make that gamble.
Speaking of taking a gamble, Min exit out without doing Ice Cave and checking to see if he gets his key there.
Well, I don't hate it. Not just because I know that there's no value there. Min has been prioritizing fiends the entire time. He knows, again, there cannot be a fiend down here.
I think this may have been a necessity because with the amount of heal pots he bought, I think he was just straight up out of healing.
This is also a fair point, but like, I think in this situation he may be thinking, No, never mind. He is immediately going back to where he was. So now he's gonna go clean out that ice cave.
Yeah, Pity's gonna go do this before Ordeals, because we know Ordeals is the right play, but he knows that Ice Cave is there, so it makes sense to do this.
Yeah. It's one of the higher chest densities he still has available, especially
sure.
after hitting that Floating Fortress 3. So I can see why he would go ahead and make this play, but it is one of those things like, I think there is a case to be made if you're Min for, you know what, if the key's here, I can come back later. I'm going to go ahead and get my Fiend kills so that I can also be racking up XP while looking for the key.
Definitely.
And we do find a slab. I think based on everything we've seen, Lefane has to be in Mirage Tower. Because we don't have Deep Towns on, and I don't think we've seen Lefane.
Yeah, I don't think we have either. I mean...
Oh no, Lefane's in Gaia. No, Lefane leads to Gaia. Yeah. Yeah, no, we have not seen, what's in Mirage Tower on any of the screens, and it looks like Lefane is the only thing missing, so...
Yeah, and for that we would need a chime anyway.
Yeah. So... Yeah, that slab useless... No, he found the chime, apparently. I think that was also here in Ice Cave, so...
Oh, well then.
Yeah. And yeah, our tracker, ex-Russian Bishop, confirming Darkmoon found chime in Ice Cave, so...
Chime was in the 6-pack in ice, okay.
So, both chime and slab were in that room then. So, your Lefanish care package, all right there in this ice cave that for some reason is in a swamp. Floor shuffle. Yeah. Rojo, meanwhile, while we've been kind of looking at Darkmoon and Min's exploration, has picked up 3 of his 4 orbs. He just needs to go hit that Tiamat up at Onrak and then find the key in the loot.
Yes. He's gonna should be finding the I believe the loot shortly, because I believe it was in this dungeon that he's currently in.
Yeah, well,
I think it was just deeper in here.
Yeah, I think you're right, because it was the teleporter maze that took us to the split, and the split took us to Sky 3, and Sky 3 is what takes us to the ice maze, so... Yeah.
Min doing the randomizer favorite warp trick, where you fall down the hole, then warp back up so you can check all 3 chests at once, something you can't do in the vanilla game, because warp is locked out.
Yeah, warp is locked behind class promotion is locked behind having the airship, and having the airship is locked behind finishing Ice Cave. So it's a trick you would never know about. Like, I do have to wonder, honestly, Dr. Funkin, can you think of another game whose randomizer exposed so much weird crap?
I really... maybe the combo randomizer of Link to the Past and Super Metroid, simply because of the weird way they lock together, but that's the only one that I could think even comes close.
I don't even think that. Like, most of the tech you see is stuff that, you know, works in Super Metroid and works in Link to the Past, and you knew about. Like, it's more that it opens up really cool routing choices, but, like, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of details about this game that no one knew about until we randomized it, and suddenly, like I don't think anyone really realized that the key lock door in Topher was there until you could walk into Topher without the key.
Yeah, that makes sense, that no one would have figured that out before.
Yeah, I think TFC keylock might have been known about. TFC being the one chest in that crescent-shaped room on the way to the mermaids in Sea Shrine. That one's door is also key-locked. So yeah, it's kind of just a thing where...
I would say Min is way in the lead because Min still doesn't know where the key is.
Yeah. I think Min will be the first of our 4 runners to light all 4 orbs. Just because we know where Key is, Min is unlikely to go back there until he finds the rod. Because we know Min knows where Earth 3 is, but he also went there super early on, and probably is unwilling to hit it up until he finds the rod.
And that'll be real disappointing for Min, because they'll find the key before getting to the rod block, and then just have to exit out.
Yeah, I mean, alternatively, he'll find the rod. Like, it could actually be at the Lefane location. Because we've opened a lot of boxes and no one's seen the rod yet.
That's a very good point.
Darkmoon going to be our first runner to check that, so if he... Okay, Darkmoon realizing he doesn't speak Lefanish, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Darkmoon, looking up where Melmond is.
Darren has the rod, so that's not going to be there.
Okay, thank you, Weirdo. So Rod was in Temple of Feet. Oh, that's not good for Min then.
Yeah.
If Key leads to Rod. And
yeah.
he is, and if we're correct in surmising, he's not going to go back to check Earth 3 until he has the rod.
Yeah, that could be a fatal decision for, someone who had such an early advantage.
Yeah. Now, again, the nice thing for him is that key is literally going to be immediately leaked. Hey, Pro Capes are at +4. I didn't catch that before.
Well, that's a real good cape.
Yeah, I think that makes it basically the best shield possible in terms of absorb. Although the Aegis is still technically better because it, also gives you poison resist.
Right. And now Darkmoon knows how to speak Lefanish.
Yep. So we're gonna go find out what useless crap the Lupa Lupa man has today. So, and yeah, this is the interesting thing about Floor Shuffle for folks who haven't really gotten a chance to experience it before. All 4 of these runners have distinct advantages over everyone else on the screen. Rojo has a stupidly overpowered fighter. Min, by and large, has a huge edge in terms of just,
overall levels on his whole party due to that early carry.
Yeah, thank you for finishing my sentence, because I wasn't going to be able to. Darkmoon is the only runner who has both loot and key, and Darren Dries is the only runner who has the rod. And while the rod probably will not lead to anything too good, because we've pretty much seen everything else, it's still... Oh, he is... Yeah, he opened the key chest. Well, he had to have. He has the key already, so... It does lead to the 7-chest Cardia Island room. So we might find something good in these boxes.
We're about to find out. There's an opal...
Ooh, another
Cheerio?
opal Cheerio.
Heck yeah.
So, alright.
So at the very least, you got some extra, armor for your mages.
Yeah.
Ugh, is that -3 opal chest armor worth it for your fighter?
Uh...
Oh, it's
Yeah.
dragon. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's worth it.
Yep.
And yeah, have a good night, MG Weirdo. Thanks for tracking. So, yeah, we are an hour and a half into this, and at this point, it's mostly a question of who is going to be the first runner to piece together where they haven't been yet that they need to go. Min is about to make this Lefane check. I can't imagine he doesn't go do ordeals immediately after this.
Yeah, that seems well, he's going to actual Lefane first.
Yeah, but he's got to do ordeals at this point. It's right here. He knows he still has a Kraken outstanding, and hopefully after that he'll go. The only place. Excuse me. Thank you. The only place I haven't been yet that has boxes that I can get to is that rod floor. And hopefully he'll piece it together, go back there, get his key, and go, oh, I guess I'll just go beat the game now.
Indeed. Yeah, and so that rod ends up being a survivability advantage for Darren just because he gets that dragon armor, but Rojo's fighter is so overpowered, I'm not sure that actually counts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things, though, where, like, that's the only dragon armor we've seen, and we've seen most of these boxes.
You only need one, but if it's that one is behind a chest you're probably not going to open, then...
Yeah. So it is also important to note, no one else in this Battle Royale has finished yet. So we're still in a situation where any of these runners can still win this. It really is just a matter of who pieces the puzzle together.
Yeah, and this and like with entrance and floor shuffle, I feel this is more of a puzzle than any seed you would normally run as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why a lot of people prefer entrance and floor shuffle over, just normal locations, because part of it is figuring out things like, well, crap, how am I supposed to get past this gauntlet when I'm not, like, if you're not playing with 3.5 times XP, it gets a lot more interesting. Like, I personally prefer to roll, like, 1.2 to 1.8 times XP, maybe, like, plus 50 gold bonus on top of that. Something where you're not going to be able to get up to stupidly good levels quickly.
Oh, Kraken's awfully evasive. Only one hit from that Masa.
Well, fortunately, Min has Brack now.
Oh, and Kraken had Death Touch.
Oh, that's bad.
That's real bad.
Yeah, this is the part where you start just hurling Bracks and hope that Kraken is spell happy.
Well, that hold is a free turn, but Brack still hasn't worked.
Alright.
Two more Bracks. Broken into pieces. Awesome. Wow,
right,
that was a clench moment.
That was clutch. Yeah, Min the Mage is our first runner to light all 4 orbs as far as this particular stream is concerned. So, that is an excellent advantage for him.
I refuse to look at any other screens, and I'm just going to believe that Min is the first runner with all 4 orbs lit, and I will ignore chat saying anything else.
I mean, honestly, it is distinctly possible. And Semi-Stable immediately ignores you.
I immediately ignored them.
Okay. So, Semi-Stable proceeding to tell us things that we didn't ask for. Min the Mage is... You're fine. Okay, hold on. Was this what led down to those earth floors?
I honestly could not begin to remember at this point.
Let me go check the notes graciously provided for us. Elfland, 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 Elfland. Agma floor, marsh, lowest floor. Okay, so I think Min is thinking he left a box behind in marsh lowest floor. So
He did.
go
The
actually-
key locked one.
he doesn't have the key.
I know that.
Okay, so where is Earth 3? Because that's what we need right now. In Volcano, I think. Yeah, he's got to go to Volcano. But yeah, the thing is, though, is right now Min is still in a really good position to finish. I believe under the rules of a battle royale in the Irongol Heavy Metal Championship Series, finishing above the median position will improve your standings. Maybe. Let me go check that actually while Min is double checking Marsh.
Yeah, you do that. In the meantime, Dark Moon's grinding on a fairly sizable pile of Sorias, not a bad place to get some XP, while Rojo is fighting some vampires, and looks like Darendrees was also running into some Sorias, but gets away from him, and resets out. Keeps resetting on some Gurpeeds.
Okay, yeah, it is in relationship to the median. So basically, finishing above the middle of the pack guarantees you will gain at least one position in the rankings. And with a field of
20-ish.
20-ish, yeah. So Min is in an excellent position to definitely pop up some ranks. Ideally you want to finish in first and just claim that #1 contender slot. But, if nothing else, getting higher in the ranks means that you'll be able to, draw in some challengers and improve your ranking that way.
Apparently, according to what Dengwu has told me, the winner is not actually grabbing a #1 contender spot, but they will gain quite a bit of ranking.
No. If you look at... No, the rules literally say a battle royale, i.e. a match with 10 or more participants, the winner automatically becomes #1 contender.
Oh, cool. So Dengwu was incorrect when he corrected me. Dengwu!
Yeah, I'm just saying, take it up with the commish.
Min checking all kinds of things that aren't the volcano.
Well, like I said, he eventually will get there because,
He has no choice.
Yeah, fortunately, that key-locked, that key is cutting off a lot of locations that he could, yeah. So here's that waterfall he skipped a while back.
Skipped the waterfall, too. That makes sense that he's going here first. Meanwhile, Dark Moon found the third eye and is working on it.
Yeah. So he should be heading to Earth 3 next, because I think that will, he's cycling through all the locations he skipped earlier. So he should he'll get around to it soon enough.
Yeah, he doesn't have much else that he's skipped at this point, so... Meanwhile, Dark Moon's getting himself set up to be ready to take on Fiends and finish with his third eye grind.
Yeah. So, while we do apparently have runners in Temple of Fiends, it is important to note, none of them have finished yet. That being said, so what I was going to say before is the value for finishing in the top half, even if you don't win that automatic #1 contendership, a higher ranking means that you're a bigger target. So this is actually a good opportunity to talk about how the ranking system works. I don't think we actually mentioned that.
No, we just mentioned that there is a ranking system, and the number one contender gets first crack at the champ.
Right. So everyone who participates in the Irongol Championship Series is ranked from number 1 to whoever's at the bottom. Ties are possible, blah, blah, blah. So if you challenge someone who's a higher rank than you and win, you claim their rank. And they drop down to half the difference between your rank and the rank, the rank you had and the rank that they were at. So why would you ever accept a challenge from someone lower ranked than you? Because if you win, you automatically move up 1 slot, no matter what. That's where the ties come into play. So basically, there are 2 ways that you can make your way up to number 1 contendership. The first is obviously take down the number 1 contender in a one-on-one bout. Or, in a battle royale situation. Or just basically, grind it out, take on people, win every single time, and claw your way up until you're tied for the number 1 contendership, and then beat the crap out of the number 1 contender so that you then become the number 1 contender. So yeah, it's one of those things. Being a high rank is valuable in this because that means more challengers are probably going to come after you if they think, I can take this guy. Especially because, generally speaking, the challenger is the one who crafts the flags. So, there's an incentive for the challenger to pick fights with people who are bigger than them.
I am looking forward to the spring tournament wrapping up and for Irongol to take over.
Oh, I am too. It's one of those things. It's a system that I don't necessarily... Is Min grinding on Sarios?
Yes.
Min, you know where the 3-eye grind is. Stop this. Stop this right now, young man.
Go back to looking for chests. You just have to find a key. You don't need to keep fighting these of all things. Dark Moon
Especially because they're not even fragile Sarios.
No, okay, he's exiting, finally.
Alright, so... Yeah, let's see. Like I said, we know he needs to go to Volcano, and presumably he knows he needs to go to Volcano because he knows where he didn't go. He is, however, going to make a quick pit stop to pick up spells on that night.
Which is a very reasonable thing to do.
Yeah. Especially when it's a heal spell. That's convenient to have. Okay, yeah, at this point, Min is presumably shuffling the papers on his desk. He is trying to figure out, what did I skip before, and where is it?
I think he's trying to figure out where the dwarves are so he can turn in that TNT he just got from the robot.
But yeah.
Meanwhile, Rojo down to just needing a key and to kill Tiamat at Onrak.
Yeah. And there's a fast 5 helmet. Or a fast helmet. Is that the fast... That's a fast sword. I think that might be a +5 fast sword.
That's a good sword.
That's a real good sword. So... yeah. Min continuing... Okay, he's at least heading to the east end of the southern continent. No, he's going to Matoya. Okay, he never turned in this crystal, so he's doing that now.
That also makes sense. Yeah, I think he's looking for turn-ins at this point.
Well, hopefully when he gets to the volcano, he remembers he never dug out that bottom location.
Yeah, he definitely needs to do that if he wants to have a shot going further.
Yeah, that being said, folks who are watching the VOD later and don't want to be spoiled on the outcome of this race because you want to see all the perspectives, go ahead and mute this for the next, I don't know, 30 seconds, just to be on the safe side in case we want to talk about it. But we do have a winner. And spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tarnin has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 9 seconds. What makes this hilarious? I believe this is Tarnin's first Iron Golem race.
That's amazing.
So, he has jumped from unranked to #1 contender.
That is absolutely incredible, and it just goes to show anyone can jump into Irongol at any time.
Oh, absolutely. That's what makes it so fantabulous. Darkmoon finally got that rod. So, yeah, no, Irongol is... it's one of those things I've been champing at the bit for the spring tournament to end because, okay, spring tournament's great. It's a tradition in the community. It's what every randomizer does. I don't think there's another randomizer community that has anything like the Irongol Heavy Metal Championship Series.
No, this is something incredible and special, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely, because it's one of those things. I believe Thunder is still our champion. Let me go see if I have that document pulled up. FFR rankings, current champion. No, it's Spellzap. Okay. Yeah, Spellzap...
Thunder was in this race tonight, so...
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Spellzap is our current Irongol champion. You probably should have said that to begin with, since everyone's fighting to, like...
Get a shot at Spellzap.
Yeah. So, he took the belt from El Markin on the 23rd of February. He has not had to defend the title. So normally there is a system in place that says, if you are #1 contender or ranked or the champion or whatever, you must fight a bout within a certain amount of time or you vacate your position.
I believe we put that on hold due to the spring tournament, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, the decay stopped on the first Monday of the first Monday of the spring tournament. Basically the day before the matches, like the day that the first match happened was the last day that decay was counted. So for the last month and a half, there hasn't been any incentive to do Irongol matches. Also, we've generally tried to avoid doing them because, we want to put on a show, and that requires us to actually, have the broadcast team. Anyway, Min has found the volcano, so he is going to get this key here in a minute. Rojo has lit his 4th orb, so he is in a good position. Yeah, he just needs to also realize, oh, I didn't finish diving volcano. Darkmoon has his dragon -3, I believe. He might not have bothered with it because it's dragon -3. But, yeah, so at this point, both Min and Rojo are in good positions to potentially try and take on the whatchamacallit.
Temple of Fiends Revisited?
Yeah, this Temple of Fiends. So, we do know, based on what folks in chat have been telling us, that this Temple of Fiends has some really mean tricks up its sleeve. And considering the quality of runners that have apparently been in there, and the fact that no one else has finished yet, I'm not sure who I would give the edge to in this situation. Min has good levels on his entire party, and Rojo just went ahead and said, I'm going to make this fighter swole, and I don't know if anyone else would have made that call. Because, like, that took time. That took a good bit of time. But, Rojo has had no issues this entire, like, watching Rojo's screen, he has had no issues.
No, nothing has come close to scratching that fighter.
So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. Min is going to be in Temple of Fiends before Rojo, just because Min is about, maybe 2 minutes from grabbing that key. But,
maybe longer if he keeps getting bat blocked.
he just needs to remember he has the guillotine.
He hasn't yet.
Fortunately, the bats are mostly behaving themselves, and I don't think there's a bat that can block him. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah,
So,
he's good.
yeah, he'll very easily take out this fight because this fight is nothing for a party that's mostly level 30. And there we go. So, there is his key. If Min doesn't immediately exit, I'll eat my hat.
Yeah, Min knows he's in go mode, and knows where TOFR is, and knows how to get there.
Yep. Fortunately, he can just rely on muscle memory for this one. Because it's exactly where your fingers think it is. So, he is going to restock on potions, and those of us who are watching this stream are going to get our first glimpse of the Temple of Fiends Revisited and what nasty tricks it has in store. Yeah, that is a max level fighter on Rojo's side. I just noticed that.
Amazing. He got it all the way up to 50, the absolute madman.
Well, I think he stopped grinding at like level 40, but just yeah, dang. It's a level 50 fighter with a +5 Maza. This is like we're gonna see this Temple of Fiends on Min's side, but I will not be surprised if Rojo finishes before Min does, simply because I don't care how swole this dungeon is.
That fighter is more so.
Yeah, Lonk is far more swole. Okay, Dark Moon, we're an hour and 52 minutes into this. You had the floater first. How are you just now finding the canoe? I swear that we can't help this boy. There is no help for him.
He's beyond help.
Yeah, dang, I want to say that Maz is gonna have 8 hits, because I think... Well, actually, wait. When we instituted the Thief buff, I know a weapon picked up 8 hits. I don't think it was the Maz. I think it might have been, like... It might have been the Maza. I think it might be 7 hits for a max level fighter. Okay, so it is going to be 8 for the fighter, and then 9 for a max level thief. Got it.
I don't know what just happened, but Min reset out at Temple of Fiends.
I think he just got into an annoying fight. But, yeah, if Rojo casts fast on Lonk, it's gonna be a bad time for literally anything fighting Lonk.
Yeah, that's gonna be hilarious. Squad of okay mans taking on Min, who successfully runs away.
Mm-hmm. Bravely ran away, Sir Min. Ah, Rojo found his totally vanilla black shirt.
Yep. And he found a fast 5 as well.
Yeah. So... Yeah, so for those of you who are wondering, why is that sword just named Fast? That's the defense sword. Basically, with item magic, to make it clear that you have picked up the defense sword. One moment, something just came up.
No problem. But in order to make it clear that you've picked up a a weapon and what that weapon does, it's now got the name of the spell as opposed to the name of what it was before.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. In the case of the defense sword, since the defense sword doesn't have an icon normally, it's just the name of the spell.
You doing coin magic over there, Woe?
I've been playing with the stack of quarters almost this entire time because I fidget.
Fair enough.
And I just dropped them, but...
Happens to the best of us. And Min about to give us our first look at Lich 2, who, rumor has it, is a boss.
Yeah. Chat confirming for us, by the way, that it is an 8-hit Maza wielder on Rojo's side. With that Maza +2. And Rojo is making the correct move. He is going to Volcano.
Brilliant. So he'll be in Temple of Fiends Revisited in a minute or two himself.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really looking forward to seeing Lonk in action.
Same.
Like, there is no way this is not going to be hilarious.
God. Speaking of hilarious, Min's fighter just did 1100 damage to Lich 1 and it survived. This 300% clamp is amazing.
Oh god, and there is a flag in Alpha right now that,
We got a war mech on Darendree's side.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am not the commissioner of the Final Fantasy Randomizer Irongol Heavy Metal Championship Series, but what I can tell you is that Darren Dries has won this. Because he is the champion of the people.
Oh, and Warmech took out his fighter right off the bat.
I mean, you don't have to beat Warmech to be the champion of the people, you just have to... Oh, no, never mind. Oh, no, Rojo is in the right place. He's gonna get the key. That's what he's after.
Yeah, Rojo's doing fine.
Yeah. Never did see the tail. I don't think he ever even saw Canaria.
Entirely possible. Oh, this Warmech is just mowing him down one by one, but gives him a turn off with ink. Fade comes out.
Yeah, all he can do is fade and hope that Warmech doesn't have enough
Nope.
HP, but... Anyway, what I was saying before that happened, so there is a flag in Alpha right now that decouples the stat scaling from HP scaling. So, if that proves to be stable and popular, there's a real good chance that we're going to start seeing a lot more fights that take a lot of swings to end.
Yeah, that seems like an interesting flag, considering that we can get some absolutely ludicrous melee characters. So giving some extra help to these bosses might make fights, a challenge again.
Yeah. So, Min has managed to get through Carry 2, who is what I would consider to be kind of the underrated gatekeeper of Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Yeah.
Because she can do horrible things to you. But speaking of doing horrible things, Rojo is about to go into Temple of Fiends, and,
Lonk exists.
This is gonna be good.
I'm so looking forward to this. I want to see if Lich manages to live past round 1. I hope he gets turn order and Fast goes off first.
Okay, I don't even think that Rojo is going to bother with,
He may not. He may give Lich the disrespect that he deserves in normal flags. Min taking some precautions, moving the party around for Kraken.
getting that Fast set up. Making use of that fast sword. Yeah.
Allow him to start tempering up quicker. 5 hits, 202. That's not bad considering.
Oh,
bad
Kraken
nuke.
leads off with nuke. That's great.
And we drop a temper caster right off the bat. And was that 1,000 damage to the ninja?
Yeah, looked like it.
Awesome. Well, casting some fog, 7 hits, 400 damage. Kraken gives a turn off with some fire 3. Heal 3 comes out from the red mage. We swing again, 9 hits, and Kraken is terminated.
Those 2 ribbons showing their value. And fortunately, he has life 2 on the knight, so,
And the red mage, I think.
Yeah, he has it on both. Dangwoo explaining that we would be using Rojo's audio right now, but he's afraid that Lonk swinging that sword would deafen everyone. I can't dispute that. Those blows are mighty.
Well, meanwhile, Min goes to Tiamat.
Same formation as before. You gotta protect those life casters, and you gotta make sure that fighter doesn't get deleted before he can start punching. Oh, Tia also had first turn nuke.
5 hits, only 5 hits? Was Lich evasive and we didn't realize it?
That might explain the low damage against Lich.
There we go, 5 hits for a grand.
1,300 damage. 9 hits, whatever. That was still a ludicrous amount of damage. So, the knight's still up.
Yep, as is the ninja, though just barely.
Yeah. Min has been doing a lot of damage to Tia, and finally brings her down. And again, that knight has life too.
I'll be curious to see what this chaos is bringing to the table.
It's one of those things. We've had several runners, decide that this is not worth continuing. Not sure how many of them made it to Chaos, but it's still a situation where, there is some nasties. I didn't see what Rojo did to Carry 2, but considering that, he's on water floor, I'm assuming it was not a very pleasant experience for Carry 2.
No, not so you'd notice.
So...
Oh, and we have got Chaos Garlands. Oh, good lord, that's a lot of Chaos Garlands.
Yeah, I forgot we had Alt Final Boss on. So, yeah, this is a Chaos surrounded by Garlands. One of these... Chaos is the one in the back row.
How can you be sure of that? We've got 4 that are still standing.
Because he used a group attack spell, and the animation that played when it said Chaos was being targeted was playing over that one in the back.
Oh, okay. That'll do it.
I figured it out by using my eye.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I believe I once rolled a seed for someone where Garland had, like, crack or something. And they got this Alt Final Boss. Fortunately, it was a short Topher, but I think they still, like, spent an hour trying to kill Chaos.
And Chaos has got nuclear.
Yeah,
and it was also quite evasive.
Everyone survives, at least. So, you got that going for you.
Yep.
And we do have that lock available.
Yeah, we've hit a few locks, now we're throwing out some heal 3s just to try and be safe, and a second nuclear!
Those heal 3s coming into play. And those locks continue to rain down. And throw a temper out. Gonna keep having the knight heal 3 while tempering him up. Not a bad plan in the slightest.
Not when you know that this Chaos has multiple nuclears coming through. Oh, and hits like a truck to go with it. Yikes.
Yeah, Min is going to start swinging, and Chaos obliges with an ink to give him a free turn.
Awfully polite of him.
Yeah, I'm suddenly understanding why people were having issues getting through this fight.
Yeah, this is a fairly nasty Chaos.
Also, while Min was fighting Chaos, Rojo is already on Tia 2.
Oh my god, yeah, Lonk has been doing all kinds of work. More tempers, and there goes the red mage. 6 hits, Chaos still standing.
Mm-hmm. Out of tempers, going for the YOLO Brack,
There
but
it
doesn't
is!
need it.
And Min is the first person to finish on our side. Gesundheit. Get your GGs out for Min. That was an impressive race.
Yeah, that is an official SRL time of 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 28 seconds. And Crab Cakes, of all people, has forfeited.
That was good enough for Min to come in 5th.
Yeah, which should improve his ranks, if I understand this correctly, by a +4, I think? Yeah, second place should get a +9 boost. And then, yeah, 5th place would be at +4 or 5 on his ranking. I have no idea what his ranking was, but actually, no, I should be able to tell what his ranking was if the commish has been doing his job.
Oh, did Tia take out Rojo? Because Rojo is re-diving.
It had to have. Yeah, Lonk died from Tia, so... Wow.
I didn't think Lonk could die. I thought he was immortal.
Yeah, so Rojo jumps up to, I believe, rank 18 or 19 with that placement. Min, yeah, thank you. Which is going to be real nice, because that's going to put him in kind of a cluster of people who all, you know, have targets on their backs normally. And probably a couple of the people that he's going to be in the neighborhood of are going to be wanting to get their ranks back.
Yeah, reasonably so. This has been quite the adventure.
Mm-hmm. So, let me see if Min has thought to jump to the waiting room for us, or... Excuse me? Yeah, let me go... Min does at least have the advantage over all the other runners if he gets to yell at me for this. Because as a reminder, this was a WOT special, and I believe that this has redeemed my reputation.
It was pretty fantastic. It's got to be special if Crab Cakes, of all people, forfeit from it.
Yeah. Alright, let me just go find... Here we are. Oh, okay, there we are. I'm assuming that that's Min who just joined us.
Sure is. GG,
all right.
Min, that was incredible.
GG.
I apologize for nothing. Nothing, understand?
Outside of forgetting Volcano, that wasn't that.
Well, okay, just to put this in perspective, first of all, you can see who all has forfeit from this dumpster fire.
Yeah.
But second of all, yeah, Rojo ground his fighter to level 50. Well, I think he technically was grounded up to level 40 and then just picked up the other levels on his way through the game. But he wiped on Tia too.
Huh.
Yeah, no, this entire this entire game is just like this Temple of Fiends showed no mercy. Like even the evasive Lich.
That was really annoying.
Okay, look, I keep telling you people to respect Lich 2, and then you keep not listening to me, and so I have to do crap like this to show you that you should respect Lich 2.
I mean, but I really want to talk about that 7.5 minute carry kill.
Okay, Ben, you need to know that that Doc Funkin and I, we lost our minds when you went for that and nailed it.
I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, you killed Carrie long before anyone else lit their first orb, and you got a massive jump in levels from it.
Oh yeah, that was super helpful. I think I got like 4 levels on my red mage from.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, that extra XP right out of the gate also helped like the rest of your party get up a lot quicker than everyone else on our stream.
I wish I had gone and checked that Q block tile initially when I made my marsh checks. That would have helped a lot too. Because that ended up being triple eyes, and that's what I got a lot of XP on.
Look, we may have yelled at you a little bit when we saw you doing a grind later on Saria's when you knew full well where that third eye grind tile was.
I just wanted a little bit more XP. I just wanted to burn my charges and then.
Yeah. So, I remember you said that you were going to be showing, like, your cousin Final Fantasy Randomizer. So I'm guessing that your cousin will never touch this game ever after watching that seed.
He ended up not, like watching me play, but he ended up watching the restream instead. And I'm honestly not sure what to tell him.
I mean, I believe Lord Fizzlebeef has a phrase for times like this. Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer, it's not always this.
Would be
It's
a lot
always
cooler
something.
if it was.
I mean, this is a fun flag set. I really like this flag set.
Yeah, like, it's one of those things, I think you all actually can just blame Will Bloodworth for this, because he was just like, oh, if you let Woat roll this, it'll be a jet seed.
I mean, given how, like, wrong this could have gone very quickly, this was pretty quick for this flag set,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Okay, I'm again going to point out, like, right now, if you're in the Discord, if you go over, like, you being anyone listening to this, if you go and look in, like, post-race spoilers chat or whatever, it's literally just everyone complaining about this seed.
I mean, other than that key, I was terrified that I had, like, forgotten to note something down, or, like, it just hadn't been I forgot it, like, a chest somewhere in a corner. Like, if I had not found that key, there's no way I would have put up the time I had.
Huh, I just realized that Darkman and Darren are now both in this Temple of Fiends.
I think.
They sure are.
Yeah, Roja's going at Kraken too. Also, that opened with Newt.
Yeah. So, how about that +5 Mazza?
It carried my party. My armor was garbage, so best defense is a good offense in this seed.
Also, I think that I'm now obligated to roll for future battle royales as well, because I feel like a Woat special is the only thing appropriate for a battle royale.
Oh yeah, this was super fun. I can't wait for the next one.
I'm still annoyed that whoever put these flags together didn't tri-state anything and didn't randomize the waterfall.
I hate ProcGen Waterfall. I'm glad that wasn't changed.
Dude, ProcGen Waterfall's amazing! Also, did Darkmoon pick up Life 2 on his night?
Doesn't look like it.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, he does. Okay.
He's just being dumb.
He has that heal 3 too. That Life 2 on the night really saved my butt here.
I mean, considering that Cure 4 wound up white mage locked at level 6, that's the best healing spell y'all had.
Walk takes
Yeah.
out Tia 2 for Rojo.
Unfortunately, he never found the tail. And it wouldn't have mattered anyway because he was level 50 well before he would have gotten that class promotion. So, yeah. I don't think that Rojo is winning on this one, to be completely honest, because frankly I don't think that Lonk is going to survive the fight with Chaos.
Yeah, not with how many nuclears Chaos has.
Keep
I mean-
seeing all these like high level fighters, and like mine was around 38.
Oh, shoot, that's right. He's dealing with Chaos and Friends. So that's the other problem, is he's gonna have to, like... Well, I mean, I don't think Garland actually has anything that's a threat to Lonk, but...
Chaos will. Chaos punched and he punched hard.
I think Chaos just punched him for like 500 damage.
I think he
Yeah,
hit
he
my.
did.
I think he hit my black mage for like 600. Yeah, ouch.
Yeah. So,
We thought Lonk was invincible. Chaos two-shot him.
What have I done?
What have you done?
That's a Chaos with nuclear and fists made of adamantine. Like, yeah, I think you have to have those heal 3s in order to just survive that onslaught from Chaos. Which unfortunately Dark Moon no longer has those free heal 3s. Luckily he is hitting for like over 1,000 with each of these swings. Okay, that one wasn't, but... Okay, now Dark Moon has to hold A and pray, and immediately whiffs.
Uh-oh.
And whiffs again, and his knight's dead.
Rip.
Okay, wow. So for everyone who was wondering, what was so bad about this Temple of Fiends? I think we figured it out.
Everything?
Yeah, Min, I think you're literally the person who had the easiest time with this, except maybe Tarnin.
Yeah.
I got really lucky, so.
Yeah, well, okay, it was a combination of luck and preparation. Like, you know, okay, real talk, that early XP advantage you had from killing Carrie immediately, probably is what made the difference, because your entire party was buff as all get out, because
I could just spam fade on everything.
well, yeah, but it's one of those things like you were able to rack up the experience right out the gate, so, you know, you never really needed to stop and grind, but you still had, you know, a party that was almost level 40.
Oh yeah, XP was not hard to come by, and I took a lot of fights while in the sky floors too.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like, if we're learning anything right now, it's your entire party needs to be able to take a load of punishment. Although apparently even that's not enough.
I mean, if I had done a solo grind, I think things would have turned out differently, because I wouldn't have been able to get off of nearly as many lock charges.
Yeah, like those lock strats were also huge for you.
Lock made the difference in that fight. I probably would have wiped otherwise.
Well, I mean, we saw with Rojo and with Darkmoon just now, that Chaos had a lot of evasion, but you were able to basically say, no. No, Chaos. You don't get to dodge today.
You don't get
Lich
to dodge,
gets-
I'm gonna crit you for 1200 like every other bot.
Yeah, Lich 2 gets to dodge because I don't care enough about Lich 2 to use my locks on him, but you don't get to dodge.
I think I must have put like 6 or 7 locks into him.
Basically, if you weren't double heal 3ing, you were double locking until you could no longer double lock. But, yeah, no, you adapted to that chaos fight on the fly really well, and that's why I believe you are now a rank 18 for the Irongol Heavy Metal Championship belt.
Oh boy.
Hey, I mean, it's one of those things, like, you're in good company at this point. Tarnan, on the other hand... If I'm not crazy, Tarnan was unranked at the beginning of this. Like, this match. Yeah, no, Tarnan was unranked. Tarnan is now #1 contender.
Oh boy.
Which is hilarious to me on, like, every single level. So I'm just trying to think of other things to note, because this was a hard seed to keep up with from the commentary perspective, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Oh, for sure. If you're playing all loose, it's gonna be hard to. All loose floor shuffle is gonna be nearly impossible to keep up with. All.
Yeah, we had a story Wout was trying to tell that got interrupted 4 or 5 different times. It's just like, oh, there's a different key item. Oh, that happened. Oh, what is going on?
Yeah, I think about the time you found the floater, you and Darkmoon wound up in this, like, state of constantly doing the same thing. Like, one of you would get there first, then the other would be right behind him. And so there was this nice long stretch where we just kind of were able to watch you and Darkmoon together.
I mean, there's a reason we were co-op partners.
I figured that was because no one else wanted to work with Darkmoon, like sensible people.
I think we all just. I think we were like, hey, you want to team up? And we're like, yeah, sure. And then it just kind of happened that.
Yeah. I am, of course, kidding. I love you, Darkmoon. I'm making a little heart sign with my fingers and everything. So, Darren manages to get through Kraken 2 with his ninja and red mage, and immediately is able to life everyone up.
I love to see it, considering how nasty this thing's been.
Yeah. Rojo, valiantly working with his meat shield thief and the rest of the reindeer, and gets through with 3 party members up. That's going to save a life 2 charge. I didn't see where Darkmoon lost 2 of his characters, and I'm not sure why he isn't picking them up aside from not feeling like burning the healing.
I can't believe Rojo never found the tail. I found that super early. It was on Princess Sarah?
Yeah, it was on Princess Sarah. I'm trying to remember where Canaria was.
Ice Cave.
Yeah. I think it was just a matter of he never bothered to go to the bottom of Ice Cave. Like, he saw that first floor of Ice Cave and was like, nope.
I don't even think it was buried. I'm pretty sure it was just first floor of Ice Cave.
Honestly, though, it wouldn't have mattered. He ground that fighter to level 40 before he found the floater.
Oh boy.
I think he did. He might not have even found the canoe when he did it. It was.
I think that's correct.
Yeah, it was super early in terms of exploration when he found that 3-eye grind. Was just like, well, this fight is about to be level 40. So, Russian Bishop, one of our trackers, is going to have to bow out at this point, but we absolutely appreciate him helping keep up with this absolute mad mess of a seed.
Yeah, thanks so much, Russian Bishop, for hanging out with us and tracking what you could.
Yeah. But yeah, you go take care of your kid, RB. We'll see you later. And Darren looks like he is about to have a bad time against Tia 2, while Rojo pushes through and actually is
about
able
to have
pick
a bad
his entire
time
party
against
up.
Chaos.
Well, okay, at least he actually has meat shields this time, and the possibility of immediately wiping the Garlands out. Darkmoon manages to punch through Kraken 2, and is able to pick his party up.
At least one member of the party.
Oh, Tia 2 had crack?
Huh.
I'm sure that made someone suffer.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, Rojo's fighting the interview with a vampire fan club.
Okay, that was actually something that we did forget happened when you bopped out of Temple of Fiends. Sorry, I'm looking at the post-mortem discussion for this race and saw you mention that, Min. When you backed out of Topher.
Oh yeah, I forgot to restore my spell charges.
Yeah, we didn't see what happened, so we weren't sure if you like took a wipe to something or got stuck in a battle or something, and then yeah. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I was like 6, 7 spellcasts across the board, level 1 through 4. I'm like, you know, I don't like this. I'm just gonna back out, fly over to Canaria, save, and do better.
But yeah, everyone is really mad right now. Thank you, Zoro. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know what I did with these rolls, but Rojo has made it back to Chaos, is pumping Lonk up with those tempers as Chaos takes out his only source of effective healing.
And
But
swaps to
is-
lock 2 after seeing how evasive he is. Very smart.
Yeah, he is throwing those locks into Chaos, and every single one is increasing the amount of punishment that Lonk can put out with that stupid amount of power he has, and
he
Chaos is dead.
successfully kills Chaos. GG to Rojo.
Yeah, that is an official SRL time of 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 32 seconds, and that 8th place finish should be good enough for at least 1 point of ranking up, maybe 2. So, Rojo is also going to improve his position in the standings from unranked to at least above everyone, at least above one person. Not sure how that's going to work with this, but whatever. And Gouda finishes, the commish finishing right behind him. So, yeah, let's see if we can get Rojo. Let's see if Rojo comes in to hang out with us. Because I would like his thoughts on Operation Get Swole real quick.
Yeah, we need to talk to him about Lonk.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Darkmoon is on Chaos and Friends. All he has standing is his Knight and his Red Mage. Goes ahead and fades with the Knight, finds his Chaos. Chaos immediately hits him for like 500 points of health.
Yeah, this 300% clamp is kind of brutal on Chaos.
Yeah.
So luckily he gives him a turn off with some ink. And before hitting him with a nice fresh nuclear.
Well, those heal 3s are coming in handy. So Darkmoon is going for more of the, I'm going to keep swinging with my man who does damage while,
More nuclears happen.
Mm-hmm.
He's still not hitting for much either. This is really hard to watch.
Okay, Ben, you understand why everyone else is salty right now, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
got really lucky.
again, it wasn't just luck. You recognized that the only way you were hurting this Chaos was by clamping his butt down, and you did what you needed to do.
Oh.
The other thing, honestly, that you did that I don't think I've seen anyone else doing who had the option, you're hurling the, you were willing to stop swinging with the Knight to throw those heal 3s out.
I just didn't want him to die.
Well, no, but that's the thing, is, like, you were weathering those nuclears because you were willing to go, you know what? I'll take this Chaos down if I live long enough to score a few good hits. So I'm going to use these heal 3s, double heal 3, keep my party alive. No, you know what it is? Doing that kept your Black Mage up, and that whole time you were doing those heal 3s, your Black Mage was hurling those locks.
Yeah.
And then when you were able to start swinging, you just immediately tore into Chaos. I think that's honestly what did it. Is you were willing to stop and go, I don't need to just go pure offense. I have to play this defensively.
I mean, a lot of the time, especially if the Fiend's really high evade, you can't just swing and expect to make a dent. It's not gonna work. Like, yeah, I just keep continuing to swing there just wouldn't have gotten me anywhere.
Still, it was a real smart adjustment to see you do that.
Yeah, like, it's one of those things that didn't even click. It didn't click in my head, honestly, until seeing, you know, Dark Moon and Darren continue to go at this chaos and realizing, wait a minute. So, yeah, I went ahead and messaged Rojo, see if he wants to join us for a chat. So, you know, I can understand if he doesn't. I imagine that that you and Tartan are like the only two people who aren't tilted because of this seed.
I mean, yeah, judging how things went, I'm not surprised that everyone else is pretty mad.
So it looks like my prediction where, you know, Will Bloodworth predicted this would be a jet seed, whereas my prediction was that since we, you know, reduced the XP so there's no longer an overflow, that also stopped the Woat overflow.
I do like the Woat overflow theory that, like, if you make the flags bad enough, then Woat can't do anything to hurt you. Unfortunately, I think we've just disproven that theory.
Woat can absolutely still hurt you. He can still hurt you very badly.
Hi, Rojo. So let's talk about Lonk.
The manliest fighter that ever lived.
Yeah, no, basically. So, alright. When you took that grind, you didn't have the canoe, you didn't have the floater, I don't even think you had, like, left the inner sea.
Nope.
Yeah, like, so was that just a matter of, like, you know what? I've already seen enough things to where I'm just going to make this fighter level 40, and I don't care about spell levels on him.
Yeah, it was basically, it's been a long time since I've done, like, entrance shuffle, and, I knew the flags were clamped to, like, you know, 300% on the bosses, and so I figured, you know what, I'm probably gonna need this fighter to be pretty high level anyway, so let's just do it.
Yeah, so it made for very interesting times, especially when we got deeper into the seed and saw Min and Dark Moon find that Mazza +5 somewhere where we knew you were very likely to get it. And it was just like, oh. So, that's the most devastating weapon in the history of this game. Oh, Darren, no, you have only a ninja left.
It's an interesting Topher, to be sure. I have very little experience with the bosses, the alternate bosses. So let's just say the Garland surprise was exactly that.
Yeah, it's one of those things like hi JLo, glad you can join us. Yeah, there was a Mazza +5 somewhere. It was in a cave. I think the floors were shuffled.
Somewhere in Cardia, I think.
Well, it was at least in, like, one of the Cardia rooms, and I think it was at the bottom of, like, I think it might have been at the bottom of Swamp Cardia, you know, that monster dungeon from hell.
I think you might be right, because it had the one, like, marsh split that led into the sea split. Is that the one you...
Yeah. Yeah, that was Swamp Cardia, which... Early on in the seed, actually, when we saw all those really shallow dungeons in the Inner Sea, I believe I flat out said to Dr. Funkin, there's going to be one monster dungeon. We've already seen too many entrances with, like, 2 floors.
I like monster dungeons, so...
Yeah. So yeah, Rojo, do you want to know where the tail was, or did you even care where the tail was?
I would have liked to have it, but yeah, once I found the key, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna jump into Topher here. I'm already so far behind. I mean, at that point, other people had already that done anyway. But yeah, I am curious where it was.
Tail was on
Was-
Princess Sarah in Ice Cave.
Yeah, very top of Ice Cave.
Like, I think this is like one of the only two
Yeah,
places
it
I
was
didn't
like
check.
one floor down.
I think yeah, Ice Cave and
So
and
it
Mirage
was
is
a
somewhere I
highly
didn't go.
accessible tail, in all honesty.
Mirage was Gaia, so not huge. I don't think Fairy. I think Fairy had like 500 gold.
Mirage was Lefane. Lefane was Gaia.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so
And Dark Moon takes another wife to Tia 2.
yeah, Darkmoon and Darren, I think, are both going to go do a little bit of XP hunting, try to... Well, okay, Darkmoon is going to just go do some frustration flying. Okay, some frustration running back and forth. Okay, no, he was burning off an encounter, but... Yeah, you can't... I don't believe you can delete the bats because their dialogue changes once you light all 4 orbs. Also, Min, I'm assuming you didn't realize that you had the NPC guillotine on.
I didn't.
Yeah. You could have been deleting some bats.
Oh well, they didn't really get in my way much anyway, so.
But, yeah, jumping back to you, though, Rojo. Yeah, no, it's one of those things, like, Lonk did you a lot of favors in this seed, mostly because, like, places where other runners struggled, you just kind of were like, "Sup, name's Lonk. What are you gonna do about it?"
You're gonna get smacked with this ice sword. That's what you're gonna do about it.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think, though. I imagine, though, that Life 2 and that Heal 3 were spells that you definitely missed by not being able to get spells on Lonk.
Yeah, I much would have preferred to have that on him, but at the time that I found it, I think he was already level 50. So it was
Yeah,
out of the-
no, like, when you ground him up to 40, it was just like, yeah, Rojo's committing to not ever being able to cast with Lonk.
Yeah, actually, speaking of magic, I feel like, I mean, having Fade at level 1 obviously was amazing, but it's the first time, entrance shuffle or otherwise, that I've gone through so much of the game with just level 1 magic.
Yeah, that Elfland was not in a friendly location. That
Neither
is
was
real facts.
Provoca.
Yeah, not at all.
I mean, at least y'all had Fade. Like,
Yeah,
I wasn't...
I feel like this could have been the kind of seed where Fade is, on the number 2 slot or something like that. Here, with Red Wizard can look but can't touch.
No, okay, look, let me tell you how WOT specials work. I provide all of the tools you need to finish the seed. However, that does not mean that the seed is going to be a gimme. It just means that you can win. It just requires you to do things that no reasonable person would ever think they have to do.
Fair enough.
So, like, in this case, like, it's one of those things. I don't want to act like I did anything other than click the new seed button until I saw a number that looked promising, which is what I did to roll the seed. I literally just clicked until I saw a string that's like, I like that aesthetically. We're going with this one. But at the same time, this was exactly the kind of seed I personally enjoy, where it's just like, I know I have the tools to get through this, I just have to figure out where to apply them. But yeah, at least y'all had that fast sword.
That was really nice to have.
Yeah, can't complain.
It's just one of those things, like, honestly, we kind of zoned out a little bit on you, Rojo, with your run, just because at a certain point it's just like, right, so Lonk is now going to kill everything, we'll just take note of when Rojo finds, like, places he's supposed to be. Because that's pretty much what happened. Like, did you
Yeah.
even wipe at all once Lonk was at full power?
Not until Topher.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think in Topher, I think I wiped twice or three times in Topher, or something like that. So yeah, until then though, pretty much, the rest of the game was kind of a cakewalk. It was just a matter of opening the right boxes.
Mm-hmm.
We were shocked on our end. We literally thought Lonk was going to be unkillable.
Yeah, and then
Not
Chaos.
quite.
Yeah, Chaos basically was just like, yeah,
I'm a two-shot that nerd.
Yeah.
So
I actually I made a mistake the first time through. I forgot to switch my party around, so Lonk was in the front. I might have gotten through that Tiamat the first time had I not made that mistake, but she was still hitting pretty hard.
okay, I think Darren Dries forgot that the 3-eye grind tile was an option. Because I think he's grinding on these vampires here on Earth 1.
Yep, that sure does look that way.
Which, granted, until the 3-eye grind tile was uncovered, that was kind of one of my big candidates for it. This would be a good tile to grind on if you can find a shallow earth floor with that earth elemental encounter.
Yeah, I think the vampires themselves, like maybe not the whiz vamp, but the vampires, I think they rolled kind of low this time around, HP wise.
Yeah, it's one of those things. A good shot of Fade or Fire 2 was doing work on the vampires, and the Whiz Vamp was going down pretty much to the next swing from a well-leveled and equipped knight or fighter. So, yeah, the eye tile was in the cube lock location, which I might have to go actually look that one up, unless someone wants to remember where it was.
Marsh
Down in
Cave.
Marsh. Yep.
Yeah, so once more, team #NeverMarsh is foiled by one of my seeds. Like, yeah, it is one of those things. This was 100% a Wote special. I'm kind of proud of it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going to say that anywhere outside of here because I'm pretty sure right now there's enough salt among the people who race this to probably like send me into cardiac arrest or something if they aim at all in my direction. Hi, JLo. I see your PJ Salts over there. But yeah, so... yeah, Darkmoon and Darren have been just banging their heads against this Topher, like, literally since Min finished.
So I'm curious, at what point did they go in? Like, were they in earlier than Min or myself, or?
No, they both got in after y'all. Like, you two had your orbs lit well before they did. Darkmoon found the key way before anyone else did, though. And the floater a little bit before anyone else did. Like, Darkmoon basically found all of the key items pretty quick.
Yeah, he had trouble finding Fiends. And, Rojo, you got into Temple of Fiends just as Min was starting Tia 2.
Oh, alright. So, not too far behind. What level were was ever? I guess I can ask Min this. What level were you when you went in there?
38, 32, 39, and 38.
So pretty far up there.
Yeah, I didn't do any solo grinds. I ground to 24 pretty early on something or other, but other than that, I kind of just didn't really do much grinding. Most of it was walk.
Yeah, the thing that I think made the difference, Darkmoon walking ritual circles in an attempt to get a good chaos fight. Yeah, so, before you got in here, Rojo, I had this kind of realization. What made the difference for Min was he had heal 3 on both his knight and his red wizard. At one, like when Chaos hit that part of his script where he was hurling nuclears left and right, Min actually stopped attacking to use heal 3 on both his white magic casters while just dropping locks on Chaos. And so when the onslaught abated, he was able to just immediately start tearing into him.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah, no, like it's one of those things where it was, you know, it was one of those things where it was so subtle that it took I had to think back on the fight to realize that that was the difference maker, and also just reading everyone else talking about it. Because it was an unconventional strategy. Because you think, I just need to pile on damage, but it was a situation where it was just like, I need to live long enough to debuff Chaos enough to pile on the damage.
Yeah, the one Sneaky Garland was really, he was, I don't know how many hit points he had, but it was over 4,000, it had to be.
It was a lot. Like, it was probably the most I've seen in a long time, and there's no way I was getting through it with that lock.
Darkmoon, unfortunately, has forfeit and has declined to talk about it.
I can't really blame him too much, considering how nasty that Chaos is.
Yeah, like, it is... Yeah.
I'm not gonna fault anyone who feels salty about this Temple of Fiends.
Yeah, it's one of those things. This was the seed that I think, if anyone ever asks, so what does Locke really do? I think this is the seed you hand them from now on.
Yeah, it's just like, this is how you win the game. Lock is required.
You may be able to sneak out of it. You may be able to sneak a victory against Chaos, if you Sorry, I'm looking at the Discord as well, and some of the comments being made. Crabcakes is apparently just save state hate killing Chaos to see how many times she kills him. Apparently she's currently 5-1.
Yeah, that's brutal, considering apparently she wiped to it like 4 or 5 times before quitting.
Oh, no.
Yeah, JLo. So, Kraken was at Ordeals, for the record. Like, literally, you walk in Ordeals, you are staring at Kraken's floor.
That actually happened a lot this seed. There was, I think, 3 Fiend dungeons like that. The only one that was really buried was Lich,
That's
Mhm.
correct.
ironically.
Like, right in Dwarves was Carrie, right in Onrak was Tiamat, and then right in Ordeals was Kraken.
Yeah, also, for the record, Min and Rojo, Darren is the only one who actually won as far as we know of you four. He actually attempted to fight Warmech.
I was looking for him. I never found him, though.
Yeah, I saw you very obviously looking for him at one point, but oh well. I was hoping that Rojo would run into him, because I wanted to see Lonk go up against Warmech.
I really wanted to kill a Warmech. That would have been such good XP.
I gotta be honest, I actually forgot that he was wandering, because he's on the maze floor when he wanders, right?
Right.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Otherwise, I absolutely would have looked for him.
Which is incidentally my other complaint about this flag set. Why not enable Maze 4th floor? It's the best version of the 4th floor.
Do a Nova special where the only thing changed is the Sky Maze.
Maybe.
I will say also, I sort of, I didn't realize the NPC guillotine was on. So I'm very sorry for murdering the Hooray Dwarf.
It's fine. None of us saw it happen.
That's alright. If we ever figure out how to make it so that NPC Guillotine doesn't kill the plates, we can apply that to the Hooray Dwarf as well.
I wasn't
ex-
concerned with the Hooray Dwarf. I was concerned with finding the key.
Yeah, if it makes you feel any better, the only thing that was really key locked that we saw was the rod, which led to a -3 dragon armor.
Ooh.
And actually, yeah, since we had NPC Guillotine on, I guess does that mean the loot actually wasn't technically required?
Not technically, however, by joining this race, you were sworn by your honor and your blood to not use NPC Guillotine when you could just use the loot.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, no, it's honor system when NPC Guillotine is on, to just go, yeah, don't actually delete the plate unless you have the item to delete the plate. In which case, just use the item. You
Cool.
coward.
Yeah, I think I actually, the first time I went through, I accidentally did delete the plate and didn't really think about it, but I used the loot again anyway, just out of habit.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, yeah. I'm assuming the "How dare you, good sir" is related to that in chat from our restreamer Dang. But, oh no, Darren is once again just down to his ninja, and I'm guessing that that's where the forfeit comes into play. So,
Yeah.
I will not be surprised if he also declines to come in and have a chat, but...
Is he gonna grind and finish it anyway?
I mean, either that or he's just going to go hate kill something.
Maybe he's checking the Oxio for more equipment.
Oh no, he's just killing Cope. Or alternatively, he's talking to Cope, and there we go. Hi, Darren.
How's it going?
Pretty alright. I mean, I didn't have to play this seed.
You did roll it. It was a
Hi,
pretty
Darren.
good one, actually, though.
Yeah, no, like, this is kind of the epitome of the kind of seeds I actively seek out in when I craft flags for myself to play casually.
Yeah, I mean, it was really fun having level 1 magic through the first hour.
Yeah! Yeah, it's just like, alright, I have this roster of spells to work with. What can I do with it?
I killed Carrie with it.
Yeah, Ben killed Carrie 7 minutes into the seed. I don't think we told you that either, Rojo.
Oh, well, yeah, I was way behind there. I was too busy wiping, goofing off in the bottom of wherever Marsh was. Elfland or something like that.
Something like that. But yeah, so Darren, I'm glad you had fun, even though if you look in the Discord, you can just kind of, like, I don't know, there's like a Dead Sea worth of salt in the post-race spoiler channel.
I'm collecting for, to have some natural stuff in my kitchen to cook with.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, so I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed it, because I would prefer to not have everyone in the community out to kill me for rolling that.
Yeah, I mean, really, it wasn't bad. This is what I expect from Irongol matches. The war mech was nasty and unrunnable, I found, after having killed Lich and deciding not to warp out and save it. And then, some of the decisions I made were questionable along the way.
I think patrolling war mech's always going to be unrunnable, but don't quote me on that.
It was worth taking the fight, though. I just didn't want to see Tornado as soon as I opened up the match.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think of things about your run, because, like, just to kind of catch you up, Min had that early carry kill that kind of snowballed into having a fairly beefy party by the end game. Rojo, as soon as he found that that 3-eye grind tile at the Q block, proceeded to basically get his fighter to 40.
I never even checked that tile.
Yeah, it was the 3-eye grind.
Did anyone find a mass mune?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a +5 weapon at the bottom of that really stupid dungeon at Swamp Cardia.
Of course it was.
Yeah, and when I say at the bottom, I mean like it was at a dead-end Cardia room, treasure room.
It was not easy to get to.
But you were rewarded because it's a +5 Maza.
It also
Yeah.
took forever to down my thief in there too.
Well, yeah, your entire party was swole by that point. But yeah, so I'm just trying
Yeah,
to
that
think.
That would have made a big difference. That +4 ice sword is right around what the X-Cal was. It's like, I think the hit percent is a little bit better, and the crit was a little bit worse than the X-Cal, and so it was kind of a choice of, well, I'd rather hit more, so. And then the Vorpal did a lot, or the Katana did a lot of work, but just wasn't going to get me there.
Yeah, nah, it's one of those things. Yeah, I think that Maza would have definitely helped you get through that Topher. Trying to think of it, like I said to the others, the one problem with these 4-player streams is it's hard to kind of hone in on specific things that happen to one particular player. It just kind of becomes this massive web of terrible things that happened, and you kind of forget who they happened to.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I'll have to go back and watch it. It'll be interesting.
Oh, it's worth it just to see Rojo like march through the seed with a level 50 fighter, including going through chaos with a level 50 fighter because he never found the tail.
Wow.
Because he just instinctually didn't want to go into Ice Cave's first floor. I'm assuming is what happened, Rojo.
I set myself on a path that it was in the top part of the map, and I think I just followed it.
Yeah, I mean that was where everything was. It's like Tia was at Onrak, Kraken was at Ordeals, Lich was somewhere deep in the Labyrinth of Pain. Carrie was really the only fiend in the south. So yeah, I mean, in terms of just the orbs, yeah, the south was the right place to. The north was the right place to go.
Yeah, I know. I saw the Ice 2 floor, and I thought it was the Ice Loop. And when I saw it, I was like level 7 with Fade as my only spell. So I went into it and went, oh no, I can't do that right now. And then I noped out of there until later when I was just looking for stuff.
And then you realized, oh, it's just Matoya.
Yep.
It's just Granny with the crown that leads to some cash.
Yeah, that's always fun though. You get so used to the incentives being like important items that when they're nothing, it's funny because you get like 2 gold, but then you could talk to like the princess and she gives you the tail.
Yeah, no, it is one of those things. I think we did see a couple of NPCs that actually had value today. And I think we did find one of those fast swords in like the volcano chest on Carrie's floor. So there were a few places where it was just like, oh hey, there's actually value in a place where like I'm used to there being value. That's nice. But yeah, other than that, yeah, let's see. I've been checking everyone's standings as they finish. I think with a forfeit, that's gonna probably hurt your ranking a little bit.
Yeah, mine's not very high to begin with, so that's okay. I'll just have to work my way up.
Yeah, I mean, you could just wait for the next Battle Royale and pull a Tarnin.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Going from unranked to #1 contender, which honestly, it's one of those things. Like, I think none of y'all were around except like maybe Dr. Funkin as a lurker when Tarnin joined the community. but like the very first day Tarnin was like active, was he just came and was just like, so anyway, I just finished my first seed. It was a entrance shuffle 500%. It was fun.
That's
So
crazy.
I am unsurprised that Tarnin like was able to blow through the seed, because Tarnin kind of has the same taste I do. With flags.
Yeah, and I can understand that. I've started to like nasty parties. Like I did the last Swiss round I did was Black Mage Rainbow, and that was a ton of fun.
Nice. Yeah,
And we
no,
decided not to get nuke or fade, so that made it even better.
it's one of those things where, like, as a casual player of this game, i.e., someone who doesn't try to like race it or do anything that gets rebroadcast, my preference is honestly for seeds that's just like, yeah, I might have to do this in a couple of sittings, because I keep bumping into problems that I have to figure out how to get around. And so I tend to do flag sets that like have low XP yield and all that good stuff. But it is 1:15 on the East Coast. It's past midnight where I am. So we probably should kind of get some final thoughts and plug really the only thing we got coming up this week in Final Fantasy I Randomizer, unless we have a couple of surprise broadcasts. So, Min, you first.
Don't skip Volcano.
Even when it's not Volcano?
Even when it's not Volcano, don't skip it.
Roja, what about you?
I don't know. This is my first Irongol seed, and after doing Swiss flags over and over, it's interesting to jump into something that's just absolutely bonkers. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I figured that was a large reason for a lot of this interest was everyone is sick of Swiss, and this is pretty remote from Swiss.
Absolutely.
This is about as far as you can get from Swiss.
Darren, what about you?
Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad I did it. Unfortunately, I have to work in the morning, but I think there's still some people going on speed gaming, and thanks again for commentating, Dr. Funkin and Woat and Dangle for doing the restream.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, no problem. Speaking of Dr. Funkin, you got any final thoughts on all of this?
This was an absolute mess of a seed, and I could not be happier to have commentated it.
Yeah, and I enjoyed commentating with you. I hope we get to do this again.
Me too. It was so much fun.
Speaking of getting to do things again, so coming up, I believe this Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, we have our last chance qualifier for the Final Fantasy I Randomizer Spring Tournament of 2020. And what that means is all of the runners who finished at 3-3 will be put into a massive race, much like this one, complete with multiple channels worth of broadcasts. And they're going to be racing for one slot. The first person to finish that seed will get a chance to enter the play-in race with all of the 4 and 2s next weekend. Not this coming weekend, but the weekend after that. And the top, I believe, 8 in that are going to advance to the bracket stage of the tournament. So if you enjoyed this kind of chaotic, you get it, watching one broadcast and seeing a slice of what's happening, this was kind of a preview of what's the 2 major events in the next couple weeks, excuse me. But yeah, be sure to check this out. And I believe we have a couple of folks who are looking to try and get something together over the course of the week to maybe pop up randomly on Randomania. So, follow the Randomania channels, follow our Discord if you aren't already, and you're still here. But thank you, Darren. Thank you for trying to warn everyone away from that slot.
Yeah, I got a dream.
I mean, it's one of those things. No, I mean, last year, St. Von Jester was the winner of the Last Chance qualifier, and he wound up, I think making it to the second round in brackets. I mean, and that's the reason we do the last chance qualifier, is sometimes someone gets really crappy luck. And, you know, if they can manage to kind of claw their way out of the bucket of crabs, you know, they get their crack. They get their chance to try and take on, you know, some of the best runners the game offers and prove that they can hang. So, you know, I hope that whoever gets out of the last chance qualifier makes brackets personally, because, you know, it justifies keeping it around. But in any case, I think that's going to do it here for us. Everyone needs to go to bed, myself included. So make sure, if you are still watching, to follow everyone linked over there on the right. If you're watching the VOD on Twitch later, click there on the right. If you're watching on YouTube, I mean, you can't, but you know what you can do? You can like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. You know, just Randomania a good turn. But that's going to do it for us, so take care, everyone. Dangwoo, see us out.